Love those moments, man. A lot of fun stuff that we've seen so far in our past couple of events. Hello and welcome, everyone, to the Realm Royale Invitational, this week's 10K event. My name is Pretty Hair. That's Gormizer joining me for the first time. You excited, bud?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's nice to be behind the mic and in the realm once again, in at least some capacity.
Because you've been watching all of these, I think, right along with us. Guys, go ahead. Make sure you download the game. If you haven't already, it's completely free to play on Steam. Realm Royale. It's all you got to type in and search for. And while you're there on the store page, you can also download the PTS, which is going to be seeing some big action, some big changes have been announced to come. You can download those also completely free to play. But let's get today's event. It's going to be another squad event. And, you know, as someone who's kind of watched the solos, the duos, and now the squads, what were your thoughts on our first squad event last week?
Squads was always interesting because you could see the players that, you know, were always at the top. You would have people like Shift where it comes through and they're like, if you can take a fight, it's a little bit easier overall because when you're in a squad to loot, you have to separate a little bit more to make sure everybody can actually get stuff. So you might be able to pick off a couple players a little bit more easily.
Yeah, guys, we have our esports website up and ready to go for Realm Royale, esports.realmroyale.com. It'll get you all the stats, all the necessary updates and news that you need for the esports scene surrounding Realm Royale. Now, we have a couple of other things we want to talk to you guys about today. And just about, I don't know, a month or two now, we've got HRX coming up, our biggest event of the year. It's going to be a blast. Paladins is going to be there. Smite's going to be there. The World Championships for both PC and console. You can get your tickets on sale now at hrx.com. Very important as well is to scoop your after party tickets as well.
Yeah, those are going to be great. The after party is probably one of the
That was
best
your first after party last year, right?
I've been to a couple before that, but it's nice when you get that like VIP band. You get to go in. The bowling's really fun. There's laser tag. There's a ton of stuff to do there, and of course there's drinks.
So guys, let's get to the format for today's event. Like we said earlier, it's going to be the squad, meaning teams of 4 will be dropping in. You cannot double up on your classes, so no 2 mages, 2 warriors, 2 assassins, 2 engineers, etc., etc. Your placement is a positive point value. You come in 5th place, you have 5 points, 4th place 4, so on and so forth. For every kill that your team manages to scrouge up along the way, you will have 2 points subtracted off of that placement score, meaning the lower, the better. Think golf. And today, Gore, we're only doing 6 rounds.
And I think that makes it a little bit easier for some of these teams. I mean, 6 rounds, it's still a lot of play, but you kill a squad, that's 8 points for your team that is getting taken off. So as long as you can continue doing that, you kill 2 teams, that's 16, then you place high, you can find yourself with a relatively low score really easily.
You know, from what I've seen, every Battle Royale in squads, you're going to see more people surviving later into the game than in duos or than in solos. But Realm Royale especially, and especially in these competitive environments when everyone is playing for survival, playing for kills, you're going to see that a lot. But to what you noted, you know, every time that you see a team, you're going to get, you know, 4, assuming you win, you're going to get those 4 kills. You're going to get that 8 points. And I've seen, you know, when you are surviving as a team of 4, especially later in these games, you maybe start to snowball a little bit, right? You pull away with that lead. If you can stay as a team of 4, somebody loses 1 teammate, somebody loses 2 teammates. Those guys, they're not really wanting to fight anymore at that point.
And it's keeping that in that area. I mean, if you're in a duos match, you shoot a guy, you know he has a teammate relatively close by who's probably going to start shooting back at you. Because squads, again, you're a little bit more dispersed out. You might have 2 people still come back at you, but you don't know where the other 3rd and 4th are.
Sure. So let's talk about the classes in Realm Royale. Let's start with the Assassin because that's one that we're pretty much always going to see bread and butter here. One of the strongest in the game as well as one of the most important to get the class weapon for, the sniper rifle, shooting that long-range single-shot projectile.
And being able to use that blink, that's one thing I think a lot of the separation comes from with players is being able to find a really good blink either through a window or just to reposition into a spot where no one's going to expect it. Again, get a sniper rifle headshot right after that, you're set.
Well, that's one class you're going to see in just about every team composition. Another that you're probably likely to see is the Engineer. He's seen a lot of changes, ups, downs, but he's landed in a pretty dominant spot. The Plasma Launcher, definitely very strong, but what loadout is either your personal favorite or one that you expect to be seeing heavily today?
Barricade is pretty much always going to be in there. I feel like just because it's too strong overall, especially in a squad format where it's just like everyone behind me is safe, everyone in front of me is still in danger. And then it's kind of a flex. I see a lot of people typically go for the healing totem just because for healing, you don't have to worry about health potions much. Even though they cost a little less at forges, you still don't want to have to invest as much of your shards into that as you could into like a legendary weapon.
I think when you have a bunch of abilities, you know, you have your Barricade, which is just got to have it.
Yeah.
But then you've got, your Firebomb, your Healing Totem. It's a bit of a toss-up. I think a lot of that can be decided by, what rarity do I have available to me? Did a Legendary pop out? I'm probably going to scoop that one, guys. So those are two of the classes I think you're going to expect to see. The fun thing about squads is the forced diversity in a way. You got 4 players who can't double up. You're going to be seeing some Hunters, some Mages, some Warriors out there, guys. We're getting game 1 all prepared for you, ready to go. We've got 6 rounds ahead of us today. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be right back with game 1. Game number 1 here, folks, the 10K Squad Invitational. Pretty Aaron Gormizer here to bring you the call. A little bit of a different plane than what we saw last time, but basically just the inverse. And no one going to Northport. Northport was so highly contested in last week's squad. I'm actually very, very surprised by that.
And honestly, that just means is any of these teams that notice that, or at least notice a void whenever they run over there, that's free loot that you can have as long as you take the time and actually go appropriately again. You're spreading all this loot across 4 people. That's perfect.
Oh, the withdraw with the sword. He's got the roll up as well. This is getting interesting here. As everyone's come to crossing, it looks like at least 2 teams here squaring off. Team 18 decently healthy here. It's really Hay to Gray that I'm worried about. He does have a firearm now. He will no longer have to use the sword with the withdraw, and that's always a plus.
Being able to try and get in. You can't close too much of a gap, at least not for the sword, to be able to get in there. That revolver, the shots are going to be a little bit more concise. Fireball just...
Old Fireball would have hit that. New hitbox. I don't know.
Slightly small.
For good reason. For good reason here.
It shouldn't hit there, and I think that's exactly why it was changed.
Exactly. Playing with fire here. Hay to Gray. 1 shot from any weapon is all he'll survive. He's unable to make it out there. 2 members down, 3 members down for Team 18. 18 is falling apart here at the crossing as 6 and the rest of the gang here of Team 9 very healthy. Looking like they want to clean this up.
Trying to figure out where exactly they all are, but it looks like we're going to see Team 18 fall away. So they're going to be safe, I think, for a little bit longer.
Yeah, look at this. Shift Void, M-Tashed. Slick already down, but it looks like in a 3-on-2 maybe? Yeah, 19 only has I see at least 3 of them alive. One of their members didn't connect, it looks like. So we'll be even footing for now, but it looks like 19 just wants to disengage here. The Lost Forge, they're not even the full extent of this fight. Team 15 is really in control of the Forge building now, so Shift, Slick, M-Tashed, and Void, they'll have to make their way up to the Lost Forge and try and gain control of the most contested building in every point of interest, and that is the ability to control the Forge. You control the armor potion crafting. Those are normally what you look at in the early game.
Hidden Swamp, Z1, and Joe DeBow going to be running around. But again, you see 2 teams here, and Team 17 looks like they're just kind of stuck between the Hidden Swamp and the Lost Forge, not quite sure where they want to go. And if they keep going down, I mean, they're going to run into 15-4. They're going to have so many teams that they have to worry about, and there's not really a way to get in there to get any loot and feel safe.
17 down a player as well. They just can't find a way into either of these spots, Forbidden Swamp and Lost Forge. Both not looking ideal. They're going to head down to, it looks like the beach. I know there's a couple of chests down there. Head over to the valley where it looks like we've got a 2-team skirmish, 2 full teams of 4, with another full team of 4, Team 7 rotating in to join the party.
Being able to find a couple shots, that slug rifle, even though it's white, still going to be doing a good chunk of damage. As long as you hit those, you can kind of see dispersed and spreading out. Team 2 looking like they're going to fall back, and that's a chicken onto Miles.
There it is. That's going to be the first frag falling for Team 8. Epps and the boys pushing up the hill. Now they'll be able to clean this one up. One more shot from the shotgun blast, but here comes Team 7. Mad Ruski's gang coming to ruin the show. Mikey, Insom, Cookie Man, and Ruski pushing in. Epps is already down. One more shot. We'll take him out of the game. Cookie Man credited with that kill.
And it's the perfect time to get in there. A couple members of Team 8 still low, although not going to be finding one. Again,
wow,
slug
they just
rifle
ripped him.
Just goes through armor, health like it's nothing. Now, all that loot's theirs. They can pick it up, try to capitalize on it, and continue pressing.
Damn.
One member of Team 2 is still alive. He actually makes it out.
And look at this. Ruski already has a sniper rifle online. The rest of his teammates have a decent shard count. So I'm wondering, because like I said, that is their first kill, the first couple of kills now. Ruski, I wonder if they just fed him shards so he could get that online faster. M-Tash, Void, the boys squaring off against Team 17. Now Shift has the right shoulder angle, has his healing potion ticking away on him. It'll be enough to keep him alive for now. Void bails him out.
Gonna be running around. M-Tash gets taken out and all of that.
Oh no.
Mary may be looking to potentially find a little bit, and Win did
Here comes
run
15.
off as a chicken, so they
Here
still
comes
have
3. Oh my goodness, Gormizer. This is about to be 4 teams colliding on the cliffside. What are they fighting over? What is here? What is at this spot? I don't see any chests. I just see loot. Players fighting players here on the cliffside. Got to be careful that you don't get concussion bombed out into the ocean because that's an instant kill.
Void, the only member left of that crew, sitting on the side, and I think just trying to stay alive through all of this because now, like you said, a lot of collision happening.
Wow, look at Void.
That's at one of those points where essentially you hear shooting.
Yeah.
Every single team there was like, all right, let's go pick up some kills, see if we can get some points.
Damn, look at the firepower for team number 3. Jodobo's got his green slug, but more importantly, his potion launcher. The rest of the boys all have purple weapons. Z1 Unknown and G-Dolphin with purple burst and alternate with the purple slug. You can tell that they are looking for fights. They only have 1 kill, but I expect that number to climb very high in the near future.
Relatively good loot to have going into pretty much any engagement, let alone being able to catch people by surprise. And it seems like they're the ones that are pushing back and holding off Team 15 as of right now, trying to figure out where in Lost Forge they want to go. They're going to have the high ground, though. That's going to give them a little bit of an advantage in terms of shooting.
Big advantage indeed. Boys trying to fight from the low ground here. Jodobo creeping and crawling his way up. Somebody else getting an angle. It's Z1 Unknown. He finds a couple of good dinks. Leaps up to the high ground, still maintains cover, but he's 1v4. Jodobo's trying to get in there, and well, he's got his potion launcher. He's hitting so much harder than a player should normally be hitting at the 6-minute mark.
Going to be able to go in, clean up 1, looking to clean up 2,
Woo!
and is going to be able to find double kill right there as Jodobo's still looking to get aggressive. They have a 3rd chicken on the floor, let alone the 4th player who's at this point probably just wanting to get away.
Some good-ass shots there from Jodobo. I mean, he's always been sort of a leader in my eyes in the swap game, right? He swaps between his weapons so effortlessly using both of them. And it's kind of hard, right? Because you've got the potion launcher. That's a weapon that has air friction on its projectiles. You have to be leading people, shooting above them, in front of them, versus the slug rifle. It doesn't have any air friction, so you just have to lead them. You don't have to actually account for any drop.
Monsoon.
Nice shot.
Actually, someone I was telling you I play in customs on Saturday nights.
Oh,
Monsoon's one of the guys who regularly kills me in those customs, so he's relatively adept at playing this, knows when to pick a fight, but might not have chosen the best team to go with. That's, again, Ruski's voice.
You know, they've got cover, but it's sniper v sniper here. Ruski has his sniper online. He's also got the concussion bomb, blink, ghost walk mobility just to clear a ton of distance and clear it safely. Looking for some good shots here from the slug rifles. Honestly, neither team finding much. As you can see, Zombie Unicorn, Switch, Wildcard, and Herald and Monsoon. Nobody really finding tags, but are also not being tagged. Everyone's basically got full armor in this engagement on both sides. The occasional little dink chunk here and there from the burst rifle, those hit scan weapons. But I think Ruski's team making the smart call really just to kind of let this one go.
There's not a lot of advantage trying to push this. Again, you're looking maybe more towards the circle and the timer. It's like, okay, even if we get these kills, they just have a sniper. Like, we can't really close this gap. We're too far away.
Sure.
Let's just go get some loot. The circle's closing anyway. We need to go and head for a forge. Go find something to advance our weapons, our classes, everything that we have.
Chappie and Timmy riding the edge of the circle here. A little bit of poke coming out from Team 3. Team 5, here's the poke from Team 3, and thankfully for Chappie and Timmy, we'll be engaging on them as well. Purple Fireball, Sniper, a lot of big plays down at the Forge at the moment. Z1 Unknown looking to keep this pressure up, and this is just good information. This is such good positioning. He can just relay, all right, we've got a team here coming in this way, another team I've got pinned down at the rocks here. Z1 Unknown just looking not to get his head taken off here by any unfortunate headshots.
And in moments like that, it's perfect because his goal isn't really finding kills. It's just get rid of their armor potion, get rid of the health potion, and let them know that they don't really have a chance to run into the forge, or at least it's going to be a hard-fought win if they do. Concussion bomb, bounce around the corner.
Don't do it to
Again,
him.
Team 5 is running back.
Oh no, look at this G-Dolphin. Sloppy movement there. He gets caught out and actually taken down in a fight. You know, he's surrounded by his teammates, so he'll probably get back up, but that's just not a death you need to take.
Luckily, it's a little bit less time. He's still chicken, so he still has that chance to revive, but it's going to take a little bit longer. That's time he's out of the fight. Jodobo can get aggressive, though.
Yeah, look at
Everyone's
this.
low. This is actually a perfect opportunity.
Look at this. Jodobo so aggressive, missing a couple of shots there, but lines it up. Once he gets his thrust, if he hit that, dude, that would have been so dirty. But he does put them both down, so his team can now just collapse, clean them up. 50-50, high or low. Unfortunately, Jodobo chose incorrectly. He's searching for a chicken in a place where it just isn't. Now he's getting closer. Warmer, he hears the quack. But how long before that player is actually up?
The worst time
I know,
for the
right?
quack to come
It's
out.
always how it is,
Right as
man.
he's right next to you on the other side of the wall, that's when the first one comes through. Now seeing 14 going to be getting aggressive into Trinity Hills here, at least on the outskirts of it. Going a little bit better than it could be, but not quite finding a lot. There's going to be one chicken. Or I guess duck.
What's that game? Duck, duck, goose?
Duck, duck, goose.
We need a geese skin. A goose. A moose. A meese. The fight's still happening here in the barn. Book of Ken versus Zombie Unicorn, Monsoon, Switch, and Herald. Team 14 still very healthy throughout all of this. Monsoon's got a sniper online, but he's kind of out of ammo right now. Slicks has his longbow available, which is very good turn potential for this fight. Team 14 needs to collapse on him, finish slaying it out. They see the longbow, but they do not have a hunter on their squad. And, oh, yeah, they know. A Zombie Unicorn could go pick up that bow if she wants to, but I don't know if that's been communicated enough to her.
It's in that area where maybe you don't want to, especially with the circle closing in. You kind of want to just advance.
Hey, you know these guys.
It just depends on the feel, honestly. Some people don't like the feel of the bow, or they prefer having like their slug rifle a little bit more available and just having that.
Listen,
right
any true hunter needs to love the feel of the longbow string in between their fingers. I won't hear an argument otherwise. Big fight here. A lot of big, awkward fights. Multi-team engagements here. We've got 11, 19, Team 3, Team 16, and Team 7. All collapsing and converging on the same spot of the circle. So we'll have to see who's able to make it out on top. Team 3, look at this. Oh my goodness, the kills already for them. And just they're so healthy. The loot situation so good. Ruski gets taken down by Timmy. Very surprised. Chappie and Timmy, just a team of 2 here, getting done what they can, but so far so good.
Right now, a lot of teams actually getting caught out overall in the circle. And this is going to be perfect. Anyone who's already got themselves safe can take these pot shots. You're taking extra damage from all of this. You get dismounted, you have to figure out where are we going to go in. You can't run straight at them. And so it's going to force some repositioning. Bird going to be forcing that out of Z1 Unknown.
Bird, Bonker, Koa, FPS reps as well. Z1 Unknown is in danger. He doesn't know it right now. Koa healing up instead of looking to get aggressive. Alternate taken down as he rotates into the circle. Unfortunate. That's going to be Team 3 losing their first member of the game. Z1 Unknown is down as well. Jutterbo needs to get in here, needs to get with his team to try and defend them. But again, he's so aggressive. He's so off by himself. It's not going to pay off for the boys this time, though, as he will be the sole surviving member of this engagement. Unless Z1 Unknown scoots out, he does.
Being able to get out just at the window, it was perfect timing because someone turns the corner into that room the second he disappears out of there. Going to be able to revive again. Only 20 seconds now as opposed to 30 it used to be, so you get up a little bit quicker and he runs a little faster, but it's still a good chunk of time you have to be scared.
I think Koa may have either been just biding his time or just crawling his boys over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to take risks in this scenario, so he could have easily just been like, I found him, I hear him healing. Everybody come collapse on him. This is an easy kill for us. Cuss. I drop bodies and Aspect. The 3 surviving members of Team 6 looking pretty good so far. They're decently geared. Firepower, decent. They're not doing the best, so they're not doing the worst.
I think right now Team 14 and Team 1, Kefri's team, Zombie Unicorn's team, are the only ones that still have all 4 members. No, it's still going to be going here for Team 13 as well as they take a fight with Team 16. And so far it's looking real good, real clean. Chappie not going to have too much cover.
But on a team of 2, I mean, how much could you really have expected from the guy? Pretty stellar performance in terms of survival for those 2, in my opinion. And where is Kefri overpowered low 1 and sidebait? I haven't heard anything from them this whole game. You know, our winners of last week's squad invitational. At
just
this
ran
point,
into Sentinel hold.
Okay, well, they are all still together. And that's a big part of squads. You know, like you mentioned, how many people are still as 4? I think it's just them and you said Team 11, Zombie Unicorn's team. It's about how geared they are as well. That's a big part of it. They only have 1 kill so far, but they're doing pretty decent in terms of firepower. 3 people with at least legendary tier weapons, 2 of them class weapons, and 2 of them in this cheeky little spot.
That's going to be perfect. Once that forge goes out, people are going to assume, maybe not that it's safe, but that they at least have a little bit of room to like work with. We can go in, kind of test the waters. Someone's going to start building, and then just immediately by the gargoyles. It's going to be a firing line, and it is not going to be comfortable.
Oh man, here comes the fog coming in, and you know we're, I would say, about 40% of the circle off the edge of the island right now. So working with a smaller than average circle for this stage of the game because most of it's off the island. Only 5 seconds before it reaches its next destination, and all the players get to find out where the next one will be. Bird picks up Zafihi. in the meantime. And one more falls into the moat. That's Bonker, actually. So not only does he fall into the well on Ascension Peak, but he can't stay out of the moat of Sentinel Hold either. Bird is going to go down via Runner's Plasma Launcher. Yeah, he got like concussion. He got like chicken down mid-air, I think, by a concussion bomb or whatever it was, but then he just was no longer allowed to have player input into where he was going to end up, so he just ends up falling into the moat.
Lucky for a lot of players.
Eggs can't swim.
I think Sentinel Hold, eggs can't swim. Even if their legs are sticking out of the bottom, they definitely can't swim. That's not enough. Also, I don't know, can chickens swim? I know ducks can because their feathers are like coated with like water or something.
You know, to be honest, I've never seen a chicken swim. I know they can't fly. God, I would hope they could swim. A little bit of engagement popping off here. Team 14, one of the few four-man teams surviving Lasbra. God, he tried his best, but it's just a 2v4 Goremizer. They're able to bring one down with them. It just wasn't enough.
Sitting around 5 seconds left on a revive right there, but this is where things are going to get a lot more difficult for a lot of these teams just because you are collapsing. This circle's gotten incredibly small, and like you said, a lot of it right now is hanging off in the water anyway. Once you get into Sentinel Hold, you have a couple of buildings that might work to your advantage in terms of being able to peek or hide, but it's collapsing. All a team needs really is to figure out what building you're in and then cover the entrances.
So the circle returning to normal, all of that area in the next circle will be playable, pathable, survivable, if you will, whatever word suits your fancy here. And the gargoyles still camping out in the cathedral. The players with vertical mobility have taken perches, and you know, when you see endings like this with a lot of buildings, a lot of cover, line of sight breaks, things like that, you know, you've got 24 players left alive 16 minutes in, which is a decent amount. This is not, you know, a player count that you're going to see in your pub matches.
Yeah.
Part of that is to do with the fact that this is squads. Part of that is the fact to do that this is a competitive environment. But probably the most important factor is that it's in Sentinel Hold. There are so many places to hide. And as you can see, no one's really hunting right now. Everyone's just getting to a good spot and hanging out.
Surprisingly enough, this is probably the first lull overall in the action that's been going on since everything. And admittedly, you're in this scenario where a lot of these teams, either if they have 2 members left, up to 4 members left, however many, you have to decide what fights are actually going to be worthwhile for you. You can see like Mopork right there is running 2 white weapons. Like he doesn't have a lot of damage compared to a lot of these others who have picked up legendaries, who've gotten up to green. Like that level of difference is going to make a big fight. And his armor isn't even that good either. And
an interesting part about this stage of the game is that the players that are looted, Gore, are most likely shard capped, meaning that they can't disenchant any of the loot that they would otherwise be picking up. So that leaves little piles here, right? You know, these unlooted teams might find a little pocket of love, might find some armor, a sniper, some of these more common class weapons on the ground because, you know, a team that is looted up, they're shard capped. They cannot disenchant anything else. They already have what they want in terms of firepower and armor. So, right, a team like this, right, you know, they've got their sniper, their potion launcher, and they're most likely shard. These guys might not be shard capped because they're camping the forge, right, and they're playing it. Yeah, they have definitely some room to disenchant. But if you do have that room, it's absolutely something you want to do. You don't want to leave any resources lying around in the world for the enemy.
I'm gonna have PTSD about this spot from like now on. I'm gonna like walk in and have to look up just to make sure. I don't think any natural intuition when you walk into that forge to look up to see if anyone's sitting on the pillar. So this is going to be important for Team 1 once someone comes in, but once it's seen, people are going to start expecting that. So you're going to have to come up with some variety to it.
I think it's super funny just to look at that scene in the cathedral and just talk about class balance in general. Everyone sitting up on a pillar, vertical mobility, and then poor little overpowered. He's got his legendary withdrawal, and he's got his balls of steel, and he's going to go at it with his green slug as best as he possibly can. But he just can't join the gargoyle gang up top.
He's what we
and they're
like
probably
to call,
making fun of him right now.
In this scenario, he's the bait. People will see him and assume he's alone. They come in for the fight, and then again, firing squad from the top.
Okay, so the fog's starting to move, and with it, you can start to hear the crack of the firearms as a couple of players are gaining line of sight as each other. Everyone's starting to move in. Harold just electing to take some damage rather than be the first to the fight, the first in the chaos. He would rather just heal up some damage outside of the fog and then move in.
It went from no gunfire to, I think, 4 teams firing at each other with the way things are going. Although now, again, Team 14, because they elected to wait a little bit, do have to run in a little bit more hasty. They are going to be able to get a chicken at the end of it.
It's go time, baby. The barricades are going down. The fire bombs are active. The snipes are landing. Monsoon hitting some good shots here, but he just needs to focus on getting in at this point. He's been concussion bombed out of relevant territory. Cuss, barely bleeding, gets inside of the circle, only to be slain the second he reaches flat ground. 6 teams remaining, 12 players in total. Mopork, one of them, and his full squad of 4. They just slay Judabo, the only surviving member of Team 3, who are now completely out of it. The Gargoyle gang has jumped off of their perches, and they are starting to look for the frags on the ground beneath them. There is a player creeping around outside of the Cathedral. 11 players remain. Pretty boss. We'll see players do this. They just expend all of their healing, try and get as much done as they can. Overpowered knows where Team 11 is. Cybate picks up Monsoon, and it is just a battle for the finish line at this point.
It's going to be a big one. Kefri Overpowered, a team in duos that is feared, and being able to showcase exactly why now. 2 extra members, a couple of chickens, that should be a couple of kills.
Gore, that was clean. They just hopped right off that ledge. Overpowered, overpowered, overpowered. You can see just picking up kill after kill after kill. Weapon swapping as well. 2 kills with the white burst rifle, 2 kills with the green slug. So don't say you don't need any legendary weapons, because Overpowered is still getting it done down the stretch with the white and the green. 6 players remain, 4 of them a part of Team 1. Team 1 just hunting at this point, looking to clean up the lobby.
I normally try to stay a little optimistic in scenarios like this, but you have to be insane, not only to be on a team of 1 and take down a team of 4, but to take down these 4 players, specifically who they are. It's going to be very difficult. Petty Boss chickened outside the zone.
Go get that killing blow, though.
And that should be
definitely. You want the points here at the very least. And they don't get them. A little bit of a misplay there. Team 1 missing out on 2 potential points. Let's just tuck that away. Get these killing blows, folks. Okay, there we go. Let's tuck that away, right? Just two misplayed points there. If that 2 points comes back to haunt Team 1, I'm gonna remember.
How bad would it be?
I want you guys to help me remember too.
You're second place by 2 points.
By a point, right? He could have gotten the win if you would just clean that up. And it's tough, right? I mean, even if Overpowered was super low there, back off and call that out. Somebody needs to get that killing blow. It's pretty intense. Like the kill logic for when you get the elimination, right? It has to be, I think, within like 3 or 4 seconds of them dying to the fog for you to actually get the credit there. Beautiful swapping from Jodabo in the early game. Jodabo went on to survive. He was like, I think he maybe came in like 5th or so overall there. Incredible finish for them. They had a really good start as well, Gore. So a good start with at least 1 player surviving late enough into the game, that's fine, right? You get that 5th place finish, you get your 5 kills or whatever it was. Bonker concussion bombed and then chickened mid-air. 2 players into the moat there. Impressive stuff from Runa.
And that was like right in that awkward area. You can see Bird kind of took the same trajectory, but because he didn't get chicken, he could roll forward. He could at least get out of there so he didn't get insta-killed. But that is a -19.
Incredible stuff there. What a start. Cuss's team as well. They come out dead even. 1 elimination. And I believe, that I have to put them at about 2nd place there. Buddha, 5 under. Heavenly's team, 4 under. Zombie Unicorn's team, 9 under. 16 notably under for Alternate's team as well. And Jodabo on Alternate's team. So, they got their 11 eliminations, and then Jodabo got them the placement where they needed to be. So they end up in 2nd place overall by a decent margin, only 3 points off the lead.
I feel like Kefri and his team picked up a lot of those kills, either aggressing into Sentinel, and then at the end.
They had 1 kill when they went into Gargoyle mode, right?
That was
and then
all
they come out with 10. Because they just were so looted, they had such great positioning, they were able to just... And they got pretty good circle RNG as well, I will say. They got the high ground, the only high ground left, and everyone is coming in battered and beaten, and they're just scooping up kills, but that's the way it goes. You can only call it luck when it happens so often to those guys.
Well, it's one of those things, again, you're looking at Kefri and Overpowered, who dominated in duos. So being able to come in and play as a team of 2, and then, okay, we're going to add 2 more players, but they're still going to be as adept, if not even more so, because they have that extra backup. I
mean, Cybate and Low One, they've been doing extremely well in their duo tournaments when they play. They did pretty decent, I think, in the solo event as well. But the most impressive thing about those 2 is that they're on EU, right? They're playing and winning on the NA ping, because I believe we just play NA servers all day. you know, it's unfortunate, but that's the way that they've got to do it, and they're still getting it done. No excuses from Cybate and Low One as they sit at the top. That's game 1. That's behind us. We've got 6 for you today, so 5 more. Game number 2 will be coming up next. It's time for game number 2. We've got a pretty tight race at the top between our winners from last week, Kefri, overpowered Cybate, and Low One leading the lobby with 19 under. Alternate and his squad hot on their heels with 16 under, only 3 points separating 1 and 2. We're having just the pure inverse of the plane that we saw last time, completely just south to north.
Being able to come through. I'm kind of curious as to where teams are going to go. Lost Forge has been a hot spot for a couple of these, and you can already see 15-19 looking to push that area. But I'm thinking more Autumn Fields looks like where Koa and his crew are going to be landing. A couple of forges that we haven't gotten to see because they weren't in the circle for the last game, but still a lot of high contest in like the bottom left, the southwest portion of the map.
Looks like Northport will have a couple of residents this game. So will Lumberfall. What a chest there. Purple heirloom rifle and the fireball. Beautiful pull for Blitz TV, but he's unable to connect with the shots. That would have guaranteed him the lead in that fight. Fireball doesn't connect either. That shot will, but it's only an heirloom rifle. Doesn't do, you know, a ton of damage per shot, but it shoots 2.5 rounds per second.
And being able to put that pressure down, I mean, already 18, not able to loot the way they would want to. They're kind of under pressure. They're always going to have this damage coming down. Their armor's already going to be depleted. And with this, actually, it's going to call a lot of attention from a couple other teams.
Look at this. Kliku just blessed that my man is missing a couple of shots here. The white shotgun, no cooldowns either. Charging back now towards his teammates. I drop bodies up in the air, but it's the high ground versus the low ground. Aspect rolls away. I drop bodies. He's got the sword and the thrust, and he's doing his damnness to try and get this fight won very quickly. Cuss went down, but is back up now. Kliku is down. He should be back up soon. Aspect working with these angles. Gormizer, look at bodies up there as well with this sword. He's just trying to get it done. But how? With no horizontal mobility, the sword is trash tier of a weapon for an engineer.
It is just one of those fights that, honestly, I don't know what advantage they thought they had. Drop bodies, Cuss, Aspect just trying to stay alive long enough, but now they're going to be getting hunted down, looking to make some omelets here for Team 5.
Cuss is back down again, and this is literally.
Who's he getting shot by?
He's like out of lives now
Team
at this
18.
point. He's been up and down 3 times at this point. 18. They're rotating in. Gore, these early game fights can be so damaging because you don't have any time to loot. Even if Team 5 come out with a couple kills here, they're going to be so far behind in loot. Team 18 just comes in. They clean up 2 members from Team 9 or whatever it was, 2 members from Team 5. They've gotten themselves a full squad wipe in, 15 seconds or less, and they had time to loot in the early game, so then they just roll off, and they're in such a much better spot.
I will say it was impressive. Aspect did get back up and got a kill right afterward. It's not going to be the best thing overall, but I think he did just outlive Team 5. He's going to be very uncomfortable because I'm pretty sure everybody else on his team was eliminated through all that.
But Team 18 is the real winner here. They come in, they get 3 of these frags, and like we said, 10, 15 seconds. They're already looted from the early game. They just ride on through, pick up the kills, and resume looting. Go to a forge, whatever they want to do. It doesn't matter at this point. Jotabo, despite this being a squad tournament, he is off on his own a lot. A very, very confident player. It ended up being a bit of a blessing and a curse in the last game because he wasn't there to fight with his team when they ended up all diming. But he did survive to go on and get them a great placement and put them in the second place situation that they're in now.
Jumping over to Trinity Hills. Again, we're going to be able to see Zombie Unicorn and Squad running through. And this time, Team 2 are the ones that are on the chopping block, potentially high ground given over to Team 14, but not a whole lot, I want to say, in terms of advantage. They don't want to press into this too hard. There's a lot of cover over there for Team 2 and a lot of opportunity for mistakes to happen if you do try to jump into this.
No kills for Team 14, holding down Trinity Hills. Trinity Hills is a tough place to fight for. That firebomb actually does manage. I thought it hit a tree branch and ricocheted down. Didn't you see that too? Okay.
It looked like it was going to go straight down.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like it made it all the way to its destination. But again, with this firepower at this distance, it's going to be rough. So Team 14, I think, understand that. They're making moves to get a little bit closer here, a little bit more involved. It's going to cost them dearly in the form of Wildcard's HP there. Their engineer, very, very hurt, and not a lot of healing to go around this early.
being able to look for a couple of shows while Harold going to be in the building, getting a little bit of healing. Going to fall back. A nice firebomb can do a lot here, but the problem is you can't really expect a lot of people to stand into it. A nice concussion bomb going to knock people up into the air, but again, there's not a lot in terms of aggression, not a lot of good places to go, and there's 2 chickens already, 3.
Mile 5, he makes the biggest rotation we've seen of the game. You know, risk reward Gormizer, he rotates there all by himself. He ends up going down, not making it all the way out. Maybe his team can get here in time to bail him out, but it pays off in the fact 2 kills their way. Mile 5, will they keep him alive? They will. The team bails him out of a rough situation, and it's the full wipe there onto Team 14. 4 kills in the hand.
Unfortunately for them, I mean, last game they made it incredibly far. I can't remember what their placing was exactly, but they were able to get towards those last couple of circles. This time, that fight just didn't go their way. I don't know if aggressing there was the right play. The same kind of feeling that you would have maybe for Team 3 here, trying to find a good spot to get an angle up this hill. It's going to be incredibly difficult.
Ooh, there's a concussion bomb coming out as well. Firepower, not really something to go around here. Latvian outplay. He's got a purple fireball, but his guns are just not in a good spot to fight, especially not against Z1, alternate Jutabo, and G-Dolphin, who just have been running rampant with whatever they've got. Early game, mid game, late game, it doesn't matter. These guys are hunters.
Couple of good shots, especially coming down.
Oh, the procs mine.
You have a
it's good, baby.
Rifle,
it's good.
Rifle. Everything you have is going to be clean.
Oh, I love it. He gets the kill with the procs now. It says burst rifle, but I'm 100% sure that was a procs mine glory play. Jotabo finishes disenchanting most of the loot. Looks like somebody else needs what he left, and he'll just move on. These guys, they're making a lot of moves. God, where did they drop first? They've cleared out the entirety of the Forbidden Swamp. That squad covers a lot of ground, and, you know, they get a lot of kills for it, Gore. They all died, God, I don't know, 15th or somewhere. They died pretty early in game number 1, but they already had 11 kills before they met Catastrophe, so it just didn't matter.
Overall, with the way things have gone, Splice, Aspect specifically, and Drop Bodies, I think, is on his team. Still alive, moving around. They did make it out of Lumberfall.
Oh my God, they made it?
It was
You're kidding.
Incredibly close for both of them.
Where
but they
are
were
they?
alive. They're up there just near the Badlands, or kind of under the Badlands sign.
Holy crap,
moving
they
over
made
towards
it.
the left.
They actually made it out of that. I'm so impressed. Well, they were kind of like squeaking out, right? Because Team 18 rotated in, killed their aggressors. And that'll happen, right? When a team rotates in late to a fight, they don't understand the full context of the situation. They don't know where everyone is, who they are, who they were hunting, where those people were, God forbid. And, you know, so that can happen, right? Bodies, he's going to thrust up into the air, but he doesn't even make it back down. I drop Bodies, goes down before he can even hit or hide behind the rock. Aspect is going to try and roll away from this one, but the Paladins boys look like they are ready to take a seat.
It's the last one of that squad now going to get taken out. Again, you kind of escape, I want to say, not necessarily by luck, but reading the situation a little bit better, knowing that you're not the ones immediately under fire, and being able to kind of slip away gets you out of there. This waterfall is going to be a big spot for aggression right now, because you're fighting right across it. A couple of shots. Desert UK made it far last time, but want to be looking to get some kills now.
Desert absolutely ripping his targets apart. Beautiful angle he's got to play with as well. Peeks the right shoulder, hits the snipe. And my goodness, I mean, you can't argue with an angle like that. Right shoulder, high ground, right up over the cliffside. He peeks it. He gets all the information he needs before he's even in danger of being shot back at. That team's in the zone. You can't ask for a better fight.
That was Team 2, who did take out Team 14 earlier. So they do have a couple kills to their names, but it does stop right there. The way things are going, they're going to be able to give up 8 points. And now you can see Bird and crew looking to try and figure out where Team 3 is. This is, I think, the first time I've seen Jotabo and them not take a fight, just immediately regress, because I think they recognize this wasn't necessarily going to be good for them. Not only were they not in the circle, but there's not a lot of cover in that area. You have to rely on the way the mountains are shaped.
I wonder if they start to recognize teams by their compositions and their skins. Yeah, no, seriously. Like, okay, like 2 Dodo Bird default skins, and then, you know, this is like not the fully evolved assassin skin with the orange raptor, right? That's Bonker Bird and FPS Reps and Koa, right?
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if people like had those identifiers. G-Dolphin, he stands still and gets obliterated by slug rifles from downtown. Bird and the boys find the shots. Book of Ken takes down Slick. That's a notable kill, but it's all about Bird, Koa, Bonker, and FPS Reps hunting down alternate Z1 and Jotabo.
A lot going on. You can see, I think actually important to notice that Slick did go down. Shift and them did not get that well placing during that last round. Didn't get a lot of kills either as well. So they're in this position where they do need that aggression. On the other side, you want Jodobo and them to maybe pick up some more kills. If they can dethrone Burden them, that's going to stop them from being as strong over on in the later game.
Pretty decent ability loadout. And you're right. Now rotating over to Koa's point of view. Alternate. He's going to get taken down there. Koa with some nice shots up over the rock, but Z1 Unknown fires back. Who actually gets the kills there? Grego from up on top of the forge. It looks like Team 11 managed to clean that one up. Z1 Unknown takes down Bonker, and it was from all the way over here. The eagle in his nest. Grego puts him in between the crosshairs and lets it rip. That's not an easy shot. That's the distance where you're starting to have to worry about projectile drop.
That is one of those scenarios where you're playing, you know, you're 3 or you're 13, and then that's the kill feed you see, and you're like, that's not who we're fighting. That is not someone involved in this. You look around, like maybe you're worried it's someone like in the vicinity that we didn't notice.
Excuse me, sir.
But it's just like that shot comes out of nowhere. You don't know where to look for that, and so I think that's why we see those two teams just disperse, because snipers coming from nowhere, you cannot play against that.
Not an easy shot from that distance either, and that's
impressive.
I think that's what's worth talking
Did you just
about
go for
here.
the no-scope?
I don't know. That may have been a quick scope. When you quick scope very quickly, the spectator sometimes won't, keep up with that. Because we had Kefri hit a quote-unquote no-scope that I thought I just lost my mind over, but I was later informed that it was just a really, really fast quick scope, which is still impressive in its own right. It just ain't that mid-range no-scope that we get the camera for.
And that doesn't even matter if you done 360 before it does it. You got to get the 360.
It's a big part of it, you know. That's the next.
The whole
tier.
point of the phrase.
That's when you get picked up by FaZe Clan.
That's when you get picked up by FaZe, and every single game is just a montage clip.
Looks like Jodobo went down there to Alexi as well. So our number 2 team starting to fall apart. I think they've got 1 or 2. Yeah, they've got 2 people left. It's going to be Alternate and Z1 Unknown. But look at this: 2, 4, 6, 9 kills already for that squad. That's just the name of their game, Gore. They just dominate the early game, and then maybe 1 or 2 people survive, and then they just worry about their placement. They've got 9 kills already. It almost doesn't matter. They're almost going to be negative already. If they placed right now, they would still be 7 under for this round.
That's all you have to do is get a little bit more aggressive. You can already see the shots going to be coming through. Maybe a kill on the desert here if Alexi wants to get aggressive. Although there's a lot of shots. There's a lot of teams collapsing in on each other, so they don't know where exactly to focus.
I like seeing the different styles here, though. I like having an alternate Z1 Unknown, a Jodobo, and a G-Dolphin that just are the early game team, right? And I think it's cool that Overpowered, Cybe8, Low One, and Kefri are the late game team where they really they'll fight if they have to, because they're about to have to fight for this mountaintop here. Kefri concussion bombs 2, 3 of them off the mountain. I mean, Gormaz, you can't play against that. That type of concussion bomb, getting that type of value with a green or a white tier, just using the nature of the displacement to get the value is incredible. And
it kind of counters the nature, I'd say, that you have when you have an engineer on your team. When a healing totem barricade, you want to group up. Concussion bomb makes you not want to group up, specifically for scenarios like that. Kefri does have to fall back, though, but they're getting healed up while all of this is going on. So if you do see a chase come through, then they're going to have better cover.
Overpowered went down, but he was able to disengage from that fight. I think, by and large, because of that 3-man concussion bomb off of the mountaintop, everyone went flying off one way. He goes down. He just has to disengage off the other side of the mountain. Then you're good to go here. Grego's able to pick up yet another frag there. That is their 5th, I believe. 6th, it looks like, for Team 11. Shift goes down as well. Void falls, and they already had Slick go down, so unless MTash makes it out of there, he won't be placing very highly. Has to go for the heal. Heavenly still has a couple little steps to go before he makes it back into the circle, but there are so many people waiting for them, Gore. I don't see them having any chance of surviving this.
Budo looking to be able to pick up a couple kills with his team. And again, this is Petty Boss Eps. They did make it relatively far during the last one, although I think got taken down by team number 1, who's in first place right now, Overpowered in them. It's just those unfortunate scenarios of where are you when they decide to figure out where you are, right? Are you in somewhere where you can actually defend, or are Kefri and Overpowered going to be able to just overrun you?
And, they drop the same place every time, Gore. They drop in the Badlands. So last game we saw them have to go from north all the way to south. This time, this is their territory, baby. They loot this completely freely. They know this area of the map so well. They pick up 1 kill, 2 kills. And my goodness gracious, team number 1 looking to clean house. Look for their 3rd. The clean sweep of this squad completed. Now they've got, what, 1, 3, 4, 5 kills with 22 still on the board. It's time for the late game team to see what they can do. But 2nd place, team 3, still alive at about 11 o'clock on the circle. They're camping this one out. They're sitting on 9 kills at the moment. So they are 4 kills ahead of the 1st place team for now.
So far, the important detail for me is watching Overpowered, Side 8, all them. When they come out of these fights, they're getting 4 kills, 3 kills, however many, but they don't even lose their armor half the time. They're going to be able to come in. They take a couple hits, clean. But they just come through like a hit squad.
It's a huge part of it. It's a huge part of the game, Gormizer, because, you know, armor potions are very hard to come by nowadays. Yeah. Every engage, that's the cost. That's why you don't take every fight that you see, because if it's going to cost you a ton of health, Overpowered has 1 armor potion left. If it's going to cost you dearly to take a fight, then you stay away from it. It's very simple. And, you know, these guys, because they can do it so cleanly, they can afford to take every fight.
And as long as you get those kills, you can come through and, hey, that 1 armor potion turns into 2. You can continue picking them up as you go forward. As long as you're lucky and your opponents have actually been able to find them, this is going to be big where they actually get a chance to fall back and use them. A couple shots coming into Kefri. Not quite sure where they are yet.
Team 9, all of them are alive, surviving. Kefri just barely catches line of sight, catches vision of that flank coming in. He's going to shut it all down, and that makes Team 9's job a hell of a lot harder, Gore.
Being able to come up, not only are they trying to fight uphill where they're going to have Peeker's advantage on the side of Team 1, but you're fighting into number 1 on the leaderboard as of right now. Even though there's only 1 game, there's a reason they always make it up this high.
No armor here for Nazi. Legendary Fireball and the Stone Spear. Purple Withdraw, looking for the stealth shot here on to Kefri. Kefri lands the snipe, but can't find the follow-up shot there. Kefri goes down. 6 rolls back into the action. Flares up onto the high ground, but Overpowered's got it locked down. Ain't nobody making it to Kefri. The hit squad here defending one of their own. Kefri stays alive for the time being and will likely make it out. Side 8 wants to chase down the 3rd and not quite the final kill from this Team 9 squad. Synergy may just be dead to the fog here. He's barely out healing it.
And honestly, in this kind of position, you can't hold there too long. Everyone knows where you are.
Side's
you
hunting
peek,
him.
You're going to get shot. If you sit there, you're going to die to the fog. There is nowhere that is going to feel safe. 200, 300 health, but still going down. That's going to be another kill.
That's, unless Runa snipes it away. Ooh, somebody else got that. That was not Side. It was Alternate from distance picking up someone with the burst rifle. Wow, wow, wow. What a blessing to these guys, because when you are 2 people left or 1 people left, you're just playing for survival. You're not going to be able to pick up many more kills there. And when you do, it's probably because you damn near suicided for him. So that was a real blessing for Alternate. Overpowered does end up falling there from the 1st place team. And they've got, what, 7, 9, 11 kills at this stage. Team 3 has 10 now with Alternate picking up that 1. So it looks like team number 1 will be staying in 1st place here, unless the boys pop off and pick up a couple more.
Rana taking a 2v1.
There's one.
Going to go pretty much the way you would expect. There's one other player, Team 16. Whoever's left over there is the other person plays. If you collapse in on them, you could kill them off. But it looks like they're running into the 2v3.
It's about to be a fight here. No engineer. It's a warrior and a hunter. That's the biggest thing. The low ground as well. Alternate looking for the peak battle on the side 8. He's going to win it, too.
Being able to push forward. Z1 trying to take the low ground. But Alternate's still getting aggressive. He's going to get chicken. Going to have to fall back, but he's still alive. Well, until now, he's going to get taken down by the burst rifle. Z1 opting to make the play to just run and try to stay alive.
You got to commend the Herculean effort there. With just 2 of them left alive, they pick up 2 more kills and an incredibly high placement for their team. Now Z1 is just doing his best to try and get that 1 more placement point here, hoping that Kefri Saib and Low One find that other guy, whoever he is, wherever he may be. But the problem is they know where Z1 is. They don't know how close Plays is to him, though. So if Z1 can just remain, I think you maybe just go for the heal here, where you just really, he's just going to sit behind this rock in this fog and just do this. Hope that this happens right here. That's why he makes that play, because he wants plays to die first. Alternate was the first guy to really do this strategy and have it impact his placement in a meaningful way. Doesn't matter what happens to Z1 Unknown now. He accomplished his mission. He has effectively gotten his team one more placement point higher. And now he can die Gore in peace without giving team number 1 another kill point either. No, the firebomb is going to get it. No. Oh, it was almost perfect. Oh. Almost perfect there from Z1. But at the end of the day, he gets his team to second place instead of the third place. Ideally, you take those 2 kill points away from the first team, but what can you do? At
the end of the day, again, they're the ones who are going up to the top. Picking up that kill, again, is going to put that lead a little bit further. Man. But
yeah,
they are just at that area where you're trying to figure out how to stop these guys. And so far, no one was able to do it. They did get 1 kill overall. They lost a member overall. I think Kefri is the one who died. But that was just so clean for them.
That matters. This was a 3-point lead going into this game. So now we're talking about this is a 66. 1 kill is a 66% increase to the lead. So that's a big deal. So it's a 5-point difference. So now we'll have an 8-point lead over the second place team, Alternate, Z1, and the boys. I really, it's a great strategy. I think it was a really heads-up play, and that's kind of what I want to commend them for. Is no matter how dire the situation becomes, right? Whether it's Jodobo being left alive alone, whether it's Alternate and Z1 being the only 2 left in the lobby, they make the best out of that situation, picking up 2 kills, sticking the heal play outside of the fog to push them that much higher in the stand. These guys, they don't get shaken by their situation, and they maintain focus, and they're always executing the best play possible.
And it's in that area, again, we're looking at how many eliminations they are being able to pick up as a team. Like you said, those last 2, that's 4 points
that
they
9 going in a late game,
being able to pick those up early on. That's where the top 2 teams right now are separated. They're like 10 kills ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, and it's really cool to watch. Team 1 and 2 are 2 vastly different play styles, right? The team in second place right now is all early game. They put it on the line early, and they usually lose a couple guys, but it doesn't matter because they go into late game with 10 kills already. Team 1, they are winning at the moment. They won last week as well. They play for the late game here. They fight when they have to, don't get me wrong, but they're playing smart. They always position properly. They try to get their foraging and their looting done out of the way so that they can fight in the late game with an advantage. Guys, that's round 2 already in the books. We want to remind you one more time of HRX that is coming. It's our biggest event of the year. It has all our biggest tournaments. You can go ahead and get your tickets now. It's going to be at DreamHack Atlanta, November 16th through the 18th at highresexpo.com.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
You're going to be there. I'm going to be there. And I'm excited for it because, again, there's a lot of content that we have going on, but there's going to just be a ton going on throughout all of that. And it's going to be, I think it's worthwhile no matter what, whether or not you're coming just for one game or if you're coming to see everything that could be there, just meeting up with friends, being able to spend time together.
DreamHack is a very, very cool thing. The first DreamHack I ever went to was the one we went to in Valencia. What an experience that was. When the tournaments aren't happening for Smite and Paladins or your favorite games, you go around, you explore new things, you meet new people, you see all the cool things to see there. It's a much bigger venue than the Cobb Energy Center, the one that we've been having our HRXs at in times past. It's time to grow and move on and have a bigger event. It's going to be a lot of fun. After parties in the same place, though, and that's going to be a lot of fun as well. You can grab your tickets for those. For everything Realm Royale related, though, make sure you head over to esports.realmroyale.com to get your news updates, your stats, all that good stuff, info on the game and the revolving esports scene we've got building around it. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Round 3 should be coming up pretty here shortly. I think we might be getting into that one. Let's take a look, actually, at some of the classes that we haven't had a chance to talk about today. We talked about the Engineer, talked about the Assassin. We're seeing a lot of Hunter play, though, and that's my baby right there. That's my favorite. The Justin Bieber haircut. You don't know if it's a girl. You don't know if it's a boy. It doesn't matter because they'll stick an arrow between your eyes if you're not careful. And we got to see just one longbow, I think, so far today. The recent change to the passive as well. All cool things that have helped the Hunter.
And it's really interesting to see when you have like dodge roll and withdraw, how the players can use that. Because that mobility, while it seems kind of, I was going to say, it seems maybe not so great in comparison to some of the others. Like, oh, well, you can jump straight up in the air as an engineer. But you flip back, roll forward. All of a sudden, you're behind someone. They have no idea where you went if you move quickly enough. And that reposition can change a lot.
Yeah, man. Withdraw, especially at the higher rarities, one of the strongest abilities in the game. You really can't argue with that. It's really incredible.
Dude, that dodge roll legendary?
Yeah.
It's so fast.
It's like a 2.8 second cooldown, I think it is. Absolutely incredible. Game number 3. Ready to get it popping here. We'll have to see where the Zeppelin takes off from. It looks like it's going to be a northwest to southeast. And low 1, Kefri, Cybate, and the boys. That means they get to their spot first. They always drop here, and no one really contests them, Gore.
That's kind of what I was curious about. There's some teams that I would say want to jump out earlier, maybe try to get to a specific location again, get that loot a little quicker. But that's not going to be the case. They get Goblin Gulch all of themselves, and I think that's because people know now.
It's more of we are going to go to our spot versus we got to get out of the plane early, right? You know, you can see Z1, Jotabo, G-Dolphin. They still get a pretty early game drop, but they're going to go to the Lost Forge every time, no matter if they're the last ones out of the plane or the first ones out of the plane.
And it's important for them, again, knowing where the chests spawn, how they spawn as of right now. It's not working too well for Team 5 or 15, both having an interesting fight around this building. Not somewhere you see too often. That's 2 chickens. Should be 2 kills.
There it is. Guns versus swords. And you know why there's a saying about bringing a knife to a gunfight, as well as a legendary firebomb. Early pull here for Toaster Strudel. Excuse me. Want to get that one right for sure. Ow.
Gentle Giant is not being treated so gently. And this is one of those moments, again, Team 18. This happened last time in this same area where it's just, okay, someone takes a fight. We hear the fight. We're going to go get a couple of loot and jump on in, try and pick up the scraps, so to speak. Although right now there's not a lot of scraps on the side of 15. Like you said, that legendary fireball actually could be game-changing if you jump in and try to take this fight.
This one's really hard to take because you don't want to push down with the left shoulder. You want to try, and you can see 2 of them have split off to try and take this right shoulder just to get some more vision. Team 15 is effectively trapped in this room. If they want to rotate out, they want to rotate out. Not that door, this door. That's the one they want to go out of where they have their right shoulder advantage. It might take a mage frontlining, right? It might take a soar up and drop the fireball and then ice block, and then the engineer and the warrior make that rotation up. It's going to have to take a pretty assertive play like that to get 15 out of this situation.
You're in this good spot, though, where Team 18, honestly, if they left, I don't know if Team 15 is going to be able to know it without having to peek. Like, no matter what, Team 15 have to play this cautiously. 18 can just dip, go find some more loot, and potentially come collapse back in on the forge a little bit later to try and figure out where they are. But you can see, again, this rotation moving even further out to try and get vision on this building, on this room, and see what exactly the plan is for Gentle Giant and crew.
But this is awkward, man, because this is not good, right? They are losing out on their early game looting time, right? They have swords and, white weapons here, and you want to try and get those better rarities if you can. They're just pinned here. I'm saying at this point, yeah, you're getting placement points because there are people dying around you, but it is very seldom worked out for a team that, spends 5 minutes on this early game fight, being so careful and calculated how they take it. I say you make a play or you die trying at this point.
Cuss and Aspect trying to hold off over here in this one building, not working too well. I did see Bird as well has been eliminated so far in this game, so a couple of players that are notable have not had their presence this time around. Aspect, Cuss going to get eliminated, and Desert going to be able to stay alive along with his team. And Alexi was picking up a lot of those late game kills for them a little bit, or during that last match.
So that's 3 going the way of Desert's squad. Insom goes down. Anonymous, Mile 5, Afflux, and Gooch Mob starting to pick up a couple of kills, or at least find some decent chip damage onto their enemies. Look at the kill feed, though. So many players are dying. Shift has a golden slug rifle. Hello, beautiful.
Unfortunately, Toaster Strudel, as well as Gentle Giant, did fall, so I think that our friends over there in Timberfall are not doing anywhere near as well. That legendary fireball is going to be up for the picking, or maybe it's just going to get disenchanted depending on what exactly compositions are, but it's going to be Shift looking for a couple more kills, picking up quite a few so far. Slick this time as well, staying alive through the early game.
Nice dink there from Void. Was not required by any means. Mile 5 was on his last couple of legs there. Shift picks up the kill with the slug rifle. One more onto the egg would do it, but Void beats him to the punch there. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. We're all on the same team, and look at this. 3, 4, 5, 7 kills for team number 4 so far. An incredible early game start. And it looks like they're about to pick up yet another one.
Purple and legendary weapons around. Purple armor, green armor, a couple of white pieces here and there, but a lot in favor of Team 4 Shift. I think showcasing why him and Slick were so highly placed during their 100K tournament that they were able to win.
Frost Sniper Rifle online as well. Team 8 just trying to disengage. But a Frost Stone Spear, one of the nastiest weapons in the game. You tag somebody with just one pellet of the 3 burst, which isn't terribly difficult to do. It's not a big ask, especially for a competitive lobby like this one. You tag them with one of those, you apply the movement speed slow, just as you would if you hit all 3. But boy, does the follow-up burst what brings the pain after that. When you have a competitive player that, you throw a movement speed slow on your in-hand attack, the follow-up damage that you're about to take is really something to behold and something to absolutely be scared of.
A lot of frost weapons here for Team 9, which isn't going to change too much, but again, having that little bit of slower movement,
I think it
feels worse. Like, it's just in that area where all of a sudden it's easier for us to hit shots, and you can't get out of line of sight as easily as you could otherwise.
I would say in a lobby like this, it's... Vision is nice. Don't get me wrong. Vision is nice. But in a lobby like this, a movement speed slow, while it doesn't translate into direct damage, the fact that all of your teammates are now going to be much more likely to hit their shots on that target, I would say it's probably your biggest DPS increase, even though it is going to be a little bit indirect, a little bit convoluted. That's just my opinion on the Frost Enchantment.
I think it comes through whenever you have Vision or slows, it's a lot better. Like, Fire is going to be nice in terms of burst, but I'm looking maybe towards like a potion launcher for that, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you can get that little bit of extra tick, that's going to make more sense. But a sniper rifle, slow them down. And like you said, then not only are you going to be able to be more likely to hit your next shot and keep that slow applied, but your team is going to be able to collapse on them and have not too many issues.
And the reason Vision's good is because
it's Vision.
You don't have to communicate it at that point. You just shoot who you want everyone else to shoot, and they just appear in red, glowing on your squad mate's screen. It can't get any easier than that. 4v4 here about to pop off. Team 14 versus Team 10. Firebombs are going out, flares, gathering vision, formulating plans, but the circle is coming. The fog is indeed coming. Alexi gets taken out mid-air. Oh my god, the shots from Harold and his purple slug rifle. They're so good, but his killing blows are cleaned up by none other than Heavenly, somebody who was not a part of his original squad.
Going to be able to pick up 1 overall, and I do believe they had a legendary slug as well, so a lot in favor of them. Overpowered, standing just over Chappie as they're looking to try and figure out how exactly they want to get into this fight. If there's going to be a team that takes down the #1s, this could be it.
3v4 though, you think? I don't know, man.
Definitely not with Chappie's positioning.
Not now. Now it's a 2v4 here. The snipe is good from Timmy. Saib's going to be forced to relocate. But they already lost Chappie, and I think, Plays and Timmy aren't going to be too interested in getting more aggressive. Overpowered goes down. Plays, I don't know. Do you just, do you just dive on this kill? Do you try and be a little bit of a spoiler here?
It depends on, not only being able to get a little bit on Ice Block and be able to stay alive. Overpowered still chicken, but he's going to get up soon. You have to get aggressive plays. Goes up into the air and gets taken down.
And oh my goodness, did they come out completely unscathed from this? Team #1 here in first place. They had almost 3 people down at one point. Shots from the plasma launcher high to low ground. It's so easy at that point. This is chaotic. This is not the cleanliness with which we're used to seeing. This is it. This is first place versus second place here. This is huge. This is everything. The barricade absorbs the first longbow shot. But this is a 3v4 still. And I think once they see the names in the kill feed gore, they understand who it is, and they look to disengage.
They fall back. Z1 is dead, so it is still a 3v4 if you try to take that engagement. And that's one of those areas, like you mentioned, I kind of like the idea of playing the spoiler. Once you see who you're against, once you recognize who you're there, I see, oh, wait, we just downed Overpowered. Jump in on that. Try to kill him off.
Exactly.
And make it maybe easier for someone else. Just to do that, just to disrupt the leaderboard.
Chappie's team's, I can't remember what place they were in, but I don't think it's top 5. No. I don't even know if it's top 10. But the difference here is that second place team, I do agree with the way they took that.
Yeah.
I think you see who's in that kill feed. I think you're down a man already, and you say, no thanks.
We're good.
No thank you. I will not be taking this fight today. 6 has his fire longbow online. Interesting little tidbit. The damage over time of the fire dot actually scales with how much you've drawn your arrow. because I was like, you know, fire could be really good with the bow if you can just pop off really quickly, 100, 100, 100, 100. But I noticed, you know, I wasn't getting the full damage when I wasn't drawing it to full, so. Still want the Frost, in my opinion. Frost is so good. I'm not mad if I get Fire or Frost in my pubs. Lightning in you know, solos or even duos isn't really that great, in my opinion, but checking in now with the Jaguar's Claws Forge. Creeping and crawling their way up. Legendary slug rifle in hand as well. Great barricade to start the fight.
Immediately going to be able to get off a kill right there. Latvian outplayed. Can get outplayed.
I love that name.
Mainly by the purple slug.
Latvian outplayed. Comrade.
Comrade.
We take Forge. Come for you. I don't even know if that's a Latvian accent at all. I don't know. I could be horribly off there. Good firebomb, though. Harold has to reposition. The barricade goes down again. One of the great things about barricade gore is the below the ground like foot depth that it has. So you can drop it on cliff sides. You can drop it on a ceiling and have it cover your little toesies as you peek out above people. Harold, beautiful rotation. Another great barricade. And they're just, you know, they're taking this one step at a time. They are the SWAT team clearing every corner as they enter the forge. They will get it all. The loot is theirs. The circle is coming, but they did what they set out to do.
And that, again, worked so well for them because the entire goal, I would say, for a squad fight is try to get someone separated or try to pick at least one off so you can make the fight a little bit easier every single time. You go in as a 4v4, make it a 4v3, make it a 4v2. And they isolated people. They were pulling them kind of separately so that no matter who they killed, it was just away from the group.
And, I mean, the firepower is starting to stack up here. I mean, you can only kill so many squads before you start to look incredibly lethal in terms of your loadout. 4 kills on the board for Team 14. They've got the sniper. They've got the legendary slug, purple burst for Harold. Zombie Unicorn, probably the lowest firepower at the moment with the green burst, green slug. And even that is not bad at all.
Yeah, being able to come through. It's in that area. It's actually Harold who has the exact upgrade of the same loadout.
Yeah.
This is going to be deadly for them as long as things keep going their way. You get a couple shots from the slug rifle. It doesn't really matter what level it is. It's going to chunk you.
Void Shift, Slick, M-Tash, an incredible early game for them. 5, 6, 8 kills as they head into the late game. Last 33 players left alive here. Hell, you could even consider this the mid-game as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
12 teams remaining. Harold picks up another kill on the Zafihi. M-Tash and the boys getting aggressive. They take down Grego. The barricade is way better than M-Tash meant for it to be because he dropped it while he was on a cactus. And he actually got the full effect top to bottom. I'm telling you, that ability is big as hell if you can use it correctly.
And it's not often that you get to see, I think, areas like that. We saw it earlier in the Jaguar Forge, but we get to see it. I think that's the first time I've seen the full barricade standing in front of a player. And it is massive in terms of coverage. Plus, you can shoot through it, so why not use it? The engineer is probably one of the reasons that he is always going to be there in your squads as well as in your duos, just being able to have that playability and have that safety net to keep you alive.
Firebomb goes out. Heavenly, the last, it looks like, straggled member of his team. His other squad mates have already made it up the hill. M-Tash comes flying off the horse, drops a couple of quick crossbow bolts into his unsuspecting foe.
They're like a wolf pack.
They are. They're moving very effectively together, picking up a lot of kills. This is a great round for them. This is the way that it has been playing out for alternate Z1 and Jotabo so far, but they lost Z1 so early, they haven't been able to be that aggressive squad that we've really come to know and love and find in second place, to be honest.
Jotabo gets taken down.
This is not a good round for them.
Might actually end up having a little bit of follow-up alternate over there on the side. They're getting split up right now, and actually
they are split up.
I think in 2 fights? No, they're in 2 fights, but with the same team.
Wiggle. She-Dolphin Serpentine, man. It's effective. You can't argue with the kid's results for sure. Alternate. Oh, boy. He's fighting uphill into 4 people. And if there's a fight to not take, it's probably this one. The concussion bomb just barely off the mark, too. And thank God it was. Book of Ken. Even 1v4, Alternate's doing his best to scare these guys off to try and get himself out of there. But he just can't do it. I mean, what a task that would have been. but G-Dolphin does survive. At the end of the day, it's not a good round for them or their playstyle. They didn't frag early. They do have 1 seed planted to take them in the late game.
And the big difference is they ran into, Kefri and overpowered in them early on.
Yeah, but they already lost Z1 at that point. I'm wondering who killed Z.
It's a good question.
It must have been like a hyper early game RNG
they
fight.
Get, like,
you know what I mean?
Super, like someone landed near the same spot, gets aggressive onto them. Even if they win it, again, you end up running in. You're like, okay, any other team, we could probably take this fight. Like you said earlier, the minute we see who's over there, we get out of there.
And being down a man, I would guess if they were as 4, they probably would have manned up and taken that fight.
Yeah.
They probably would have because they hadn't backed off from any fights thus far. I don't see why they'd want to start getting that reputation
Stay
now.
alive a little longer.
But, there's only so much boneheadedness I think you can muster. As the aggressive team, you can only be so aggressive before you border on just being stupid.
And when it comes down to it, you also end up, and I want to say an unlucky scenario pretty much for everybody here, where it's given, I want to say, like the home team advantage. There's another Badlands end circle. So you do have Overpowered and Kefri and them feeling comfortable because, again, they didn't have to move far for their circle. They were able to forge a lot. They are going to have a lot of control over there already in the circle that's remaining. No one else really looking to try and break into that just yet. Shift. Looking for a spot. I don't know if they want to go for the fight.
They might all be lining it up together. I think they were trying to do that, and just, 3, 2, 1, shoot. Even voice comms, even on like good connection, will still have a little bit of ping. Yeah. So I always just say, shoot on me. You know what I mean? But even that has some ping. It's very tough to get like everyone to sync up and shoot at the same time. But like if I'm playing a game with like my little brother or something, I'll just say shoot on sight. So I already see him, and then the second my brother sees him, I want him to take his shot, and then I'll just follow it up. Right.
Being able to get that advantage. I mean, you can burst someone down. You hit them with 3 slug shots, they're not going to be able to live just like that as they go through. The armor is disappearing here for Team 9.
Wow, great shielding potion goes down there for the front-lining warrior. I hold shift. MTash picks one up with a crossbow. The cooldowns are used nicely, but these boys need armor potions. You can see a couple of them have a couple hundreds. Some of them have nothing. And when a player's running around in that type of situation with no armor and they haven't stopped to heal, it's because they don't have any armor potions to heal with. It's a much more rare commodity nowadays that are very valuable. And even really, it deters being aggressive even further, right? Because you just can't afford to heal up if you're taking a lot of fights.
8 teams still remaining as the circle closes through, but you can hear it's not going to last long at that number. A lot of firefights going on. MTash and crew, probably the safest, I would say, because everyone else around them has already moved in. And once again, the circle falls right on top of Kefri and Overpowered.
Cybait, he's not going to get much more than just some poke at that point, but good information is the key there. Shift and Slick and MTash and Void, their team is so far out in front in kills right now, I'm pretty sure, that as long as they continue, because this is not, the best round ever for Cybait, low 1 Overpowered Kefri at this point, but this is how they always take it. They go into the late game with 2 to 5 kills, maybe. And then they clean up, the entire top 15 for a total of 18. That's how they do it, because they're always, as 4, they're always looted as hell. They've got plenty of armor potions to work with. They've got gear. They've got weapons. They've got everything that they need. And I'm not seeing a different picture being painted here in round number 3.
And a lot of it comes down, if you look at the loot that they have on that side, they don't have to worry as much about their fights. Versus some of these other teams that are still looking for those legendary weapons and abilities, they're going to have that advantage going in. That's going to be a big kill picked up for Team 14 as they take this nice post.
Monsoon and the gang trying to find their way into this house. They do so successfully, but now it's about the rest of the lobby. And look at this, Shift jumps in, no armor, doesn't care. He's got his armor potion, or his shield potion, his health potion, and his legendary slug rifle. He's looking to get involved. His team's already in there. MTash goes down though. He's trying to break line of sight. He does. Shift gets in there, bails him out. Shift picks up 2. Then he gets sniped down. 2 members alive, 2 members down. And team number 1, our leaders in the lobby, moving in for the kills. Petty Boss already taken down. But the longer they take Gore, the more everyone's going to be able to get back up. They disengage. Shift's team's going to be okay. They're all going to get up.
Can't tell if it was Monsoon or Harold, but one of the 2 wildcard boys are still alive over there.
Yeah.
Just barely. And it sucks to be in that scenario. You know you're going to be the last one. You're surrounded by people who just killed. It was Monsoon. Gets taken down by Shift right there. And now they're picking up a ton of kills at the end of the game.
Kefri finds Hay to Gray. Shift and the boys, they're starting to move in. They're not very healthy because they just got out of a fight. Syve8, he's going to take down Void. And that marks the 3v4. Someone's got to get a kill on someone from Team 1 soon, or else this fight is just going to fall apart, and Team 1 is going to come out on top by a large margin. Shift runs into a rock on his way out, so that makes it a 2v4, and the situation growing ever more dire. 5 players left. There's the final kill. The Crown Royale, 3 in a row for Kefri, Overpowered, Sybe, and Low.
Incredibly close, though, and I feel like we're going to see a huge jump there for Shift and his team, because they got a ton of kills throughout the entirety of the game. Like, they were almost always fighting and winning them.
It's going to be very close, but I would probably put money on them for having gotten the most kills in that lobby in total. It's just because of the way that they operate, right? And by a decent margin, actually. 18 eliminations that round, 34 under for Slick and his squad. But again, Kefri and his guys, they go into the late game with like 3 kills there, but then they kill 7 of the top 10, and they come away with 10. Alternate and his team, that's the big storyline for this game. They come out with a +3. It's not bad, but because Kefri and his squad had such a good game, that is what's going to blow the lead wide open. It was only an 8-point difference. Now with a +3 versus a -19, you're adding 22 to that 25-point lead. And for a total of 30, they're going to be behind the lead now. It's not a good look.
30 behind there, Slick and crew jumping up to number 3.
Holy crap.
I mean, that was a huge swing of points. 34 is a lot in this, and it just goes to show if you can find those eliminations early on and your team can live through it, it's going to be difficult to get both of those happening. But you can catch up. It's going to be a lot more difficult because now you can see, again, Kefri and crew with the lead they've cultivated. They're not untouchable, but they are going to have a very poor early game quite a few times in a row to make sure that they don't keep getting further ahead.
And that's what happens in these squad games, man. You know, people. Granted, I have a sample size of 1.5, so this don't take this as a concrete scientific fact, but it appears to me as though in these squad events, the good teams that are being consistent will snowball harder out in front. They will snowball bigger point leads than what we've seen in those duos and those solo events. We've seen a lot of duo events, and we have very seldom seen leads and swings this big.
Well, it's one of those areas where not only are you going to be able to get, again, 8 kills if you kill off another team, or 8 points, but you're noticing, I want to say, a little bit less early fights. There's some areas where it's still 2 teams land, but you're not having the same contest of, okay, well, there's 4 duos right here. 1 team is going to be able to come out alive.
It's the nature of squads, right? Like you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, every time you find someone, you're finding 3 other people most of the time. Also, not as many people are dying in the early game, right? Because you've got these squads, these full 4 teams spreading out, and instead of 2 duo teams fighting each other, it's just a team of 4 that's just looting, and they're not killing each other, right? More people are staying alive, and every time you do find a fight, you're finding probably between 2 and 4 kills most likely. So that's what's leading to these bigger leads and the snowball ability. But with the ability to swing heavily out and further lead, it also allows those teams in the back of the pack to have a big swing to come catch back up to you and have a chance at some of the money here today. Guys, we're going to take a quick break, but before you know it, we'll be back with game number 4. Halfway through, folks, here in today's 6-round Squad 10K Invitational. My name is Pretty Air. Gormizer's joining me today. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome. We've got our winners from last week, Kefri, Overpowered, Low 1, and Sybe8 out in front by about 30 points, I believe it was. I mean, an incredible lead they've managed to surmount for themselves so far. But, we've seen 30, 35-point swings in one round. So if they have a bad one and second place has a really good one, I mean, we could see this entire tournament flipped on its head. Until somebody starts hunting them in the Goblin Gulch, I don't see this one turning around too early for the boys. That's just the benefit of the way they play the game, right? They're always playing for the late game, and they never die early game.
And the teams you want to kind of keep track of, the top 3 are 1, 3, and 4. So you can see number 1 going to Goblin Gulch. North Point going to be covered by number 4. But a lot of the fighting is going to be happening elsewhere. And specifically, a lot, I want to say I've expected a little bit more from, Bird, Koa, Bonker. But they died relatively early in that last game.
They certainly did. And Bird since he started playing with FPS reps and starting to find new partners, squad mates. Hasn't quite found the degree of success that he has when he played with Kefri when they completely dominated the duo 10K scene. Just hasn't quite been the same. An end of an era, if you will.
It's that one small separation. And
oh, hello.
When
there,
your duo
beautiful.
partner finds someone who they play maybe not even better with, but it just fits a little bit more.
Yeah, I think FPS
like
reps is like it's like his real life buddy from like a long time.
Oh, that
right?
makes sense too.
So it's easy to play with a good buddy. You've already got some chemistry built up, and Trinity Hills, that's where all the action is at the moment here. Some burst shots coming back towards the boys at the Forge. They leaped straight back into Team 15 here. It's going to be a real fight. Collision's trying to make his way around. Gentle Giant's finding good damage, but he's fully committed, Gormizer, and it's going to cost him his life.
Was able to get a kill. Did get a chicken, but he's going to end up going down. Switch gets the credit for that one. As you're seeing a little bit of a fallback overall. It's a lot of just clustered fighting coming through, and I don't think any team is really too sure how they want to try and jump back into this, whether or not you want to get aggressive. A Switch, Herald, Zombie Unicorn, as well as Monsoon try to come in and clean up the rest of 13.
It's a good barricade, a good firebomb as well. Team 14, they're so healthy at this point. Everyone else has already tasted a little bit of battle here in round number 4. Bonker goes down, one of 2 remaining members now up on the top floor of this Forge. Koa and Bird, they just simply can't escape danger. Bird picks up one more for his trouble, but my goodness, these poor guys just can't catch a break.
Looking to get taken down. Ring around the rosy around the tree, but it's not going to last long enough for them. And while you do lose Herald, you keep up a little bit more, although losing one member early on, again, kind of skews the way you play that late game because you don't have the full force anymore.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're getting into a 3v4 or anything like that.
That's why I think we see these big leads be accumulated by Kefri's team because they play for the late game.
Yeah.
And basically when you're playing for the late game, you're not risking anyone's life in the early game. And when you look at Alternate and Z1's team from last round, just losing one person completely deleted the aggression that they were able to have normally, right? They really changed their playstyle when they lost just one person. So keeping your full team together really will benefit you a lot. Because then at that point, you're doing what Kefri's boys do. You go around as 4 and you just kill a team of 2, kill a team of 3, right? You're just cleaning up all of these weakened, poor squads because you've stayed together and stayed alive all game.
And that was just with one person gone. Right now, Alternate is the only person left alive on that.
Say it ain't so.
I would say the mighty have fallen the way things have been going. I mean, they're looking for those early game fights, but they just aren't able to find them the same way they did in games 1 and 2. And so with the way things have been going for them, even if you can find maybe a pick like this, it just wouldn't really go cleanly for you.
I mean, it's the perfect time to talk about the risk and reward of the way that Alternate's team play the game, right? The reward is the way the first 2 lobbies went. They get 10, 11, 12 kills going into late game. So it doesn't matter the fact that they didn't all make it through because they've already accomplished their goal in getting those 10 frags and a decent placement. Now, the risk is what's happened in the last couple of rounds. They don't get out of the early game cleanly. They get taken down early. They have to go into late game with 2 or, God forbid, 1 surviving member with like, what, 1 kill? It sounds like Cuss's team fragged them out. So they've got 3 of those kills. And they're all alive, so that tells me Alternate's team didn't kill anyone. And that's going to be the story here. Alternate, the Lone Ranger, heads into the late game by himself. Not a kill to his name, a white burst, a white crossbow, a green prox mine, and a couple of pieces of armor with no armor potions to heal it back up.
And of all the classes to find yourself,
can you think of a sadder story?
1v4, you're the hunter. Like, your bow isn't going to be firing anywhere near as fast. Like, if you were an engineer, maybe you could still pick up a couple kills if you find yourself in, like, a good scenario and you're just that good of a player. But, I mean, you get a bow here, you're still going to have to put a lot of effort into just finding both of them.
I want to channel RNGesus to drop an airdrop in front of Alternate. Give him some armor, give him a bow, give her some armor potions. Because I know if he's got the resources, the man will make the play. He's going to go for it. He's going to do the best that he can. Right now, he doesn't have anything to work with, Rob. That's what scares me. If Alternate had something to do, something to play with, he would impress us. I know he would. But right now, he has got jack all in terms of firepower, abilities, armor, nothing going for him.
This is another one of those moments where, I mean, if your team's 3, 4, and 5, and you could hear that that's what's going on over there with the team that's in number 2, you are in a perfect spot to make those swings, to try and take over that spot. And unfortunately, if you are, you know, anyone that happens to be there, Jotabo, Z1, and them, you're looking at that 30-point lead between, or that 30-point gap between you and first place, and it's gotten a little bit further.
The gap continues to grow, right? And if you're Kefri and Sai, you see all those players die, and you're just like, ah. As if we had little pressure now. You know, you see those guys go down in the kill feed, and life gets easier, right? You have all of the weight, if there was any, on your shoulders lifted off, and you just go about your business as usual. Make it to late game 4 strong, looted, kitted, suited, and booted. Come in and kick ass in the top 15. Sometimes they make it out with 15 kills, 10 kills, all that happened in the last, 2 minutes of the game. Alternate, we hardly knew you. No plays to be made today, brother.
I mean, I don't know if his team, I don't think they had any kills.
They had
at
0.
the end of it, because they came down, they got eliminated by Cassia, so 0 for them, plus that placing. 17.
Whenever someone dies, you want to look at how many teams are remaining and just add 1, right? Because they just got knocked out of the game. So they get a plus 17. They're not even going to be in second anymore after this.
Especially
Shift and Slick were hot on their tail.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of their names. I haven't seen Shift, Slick, any of those guys.
I think they're alive, though.
But I'm pretty sure they went up to Northport. They were just hanging out up there, looting, doing exactly kind of what we see out of team number 1.
Goremizer, it's a very simple question with a very simple answer. Pull up your twitch.tv or mixer.com/Realm Royale map stream. Bada bing, bada boom, and you would be able to see, ta-da! Shift, Slick, Tashed, and Void are all up at the crossing. Safe and sound, rotating in and nice and slow here. Right behind Kefri, overpowered, low 1, and Sai.
This time we're going to have a circle that's more southwest, so we're not going to be in the Badlands again, so you will see Kefri overpowered. I think get caught by a couple of teams on their way in towards the circle, and I think that's where we saw, again, in games number 1 and 2, where those early points came in when they had maybe 5 kills coming in, was picking up those teams as they rush towards the circle, or I guess rush, quote-unquote, because they're not really worried as of just yet.
That's really where their mettle as a team is going to be tested, right? In those kind of awkward, fogs pushing, unfavorable scenarios. In game 1, they still had to make this crazy coast-to-coast rotation, but they were gargoyled up pretty early. I didn't see them make that rotation in there, but they got there pretty quickly. They were in there for three circles or so before the game actually came to a close. So they don't really dilly-dally, so to speak. When it's time to move, they make a big move. And because they spend so much time looting in the early game, they can do that safely, right? They don't need to loot anymore. They don't need to forge anything else. Or they forge where they're going to go to. They have their sights set on somewhere else. Bixley leading the guys from Team 9 on a nice little goose chase here, but he will eventually fall.
This is one of those moments that you have to look at kind of the loot a lot of teams have been able to pick up, especially, again, legendary weapons being able to drop from chests. Depending on how things go for you, the more loot you can get on the way to those late game circles, the better it's going to be. I mean, that's just going to be the truth no matter what. But then you look at, Idol here fighting with a white slug rifle. It's not going to be hitting nearly as hard as some of his opponents. And you're just looking at, Team 18 not having the best of all loot because they've been in Lumberfall the entire time.
My man was all armor and no health. I don't know how he got there, but he did. Chappie and the boys, the 3-man squad of today's event, they just clearly don't have a 4th teammate. I thought maybe in the first one he didn't connect or something, but they've got 1 kill to their name. The NA Paladins crew coming in now. Cuss, Bodies, Kliku, and Aspect. Still with those 4 kills on the board. Well, they actually managed to pick up 1 more because they only had 3 after their first engagement. So they're in a little bit of a better spot than they were in times past. They've also got 2 teams outside of the circle. They are playing Border Patrol at the moment. They're up in their high towers, looking down upon the unfortunate squads that are just trying to get into the circle. And they have a nice little potion launcher action.
You're going to be getting aggressive, and again, barricade comes down. Once that's down, then you can start to expect a little bit more of that potion launcher coming around. Getting a slow is going to be big once again, but not a lot
Play
of
that potion, baby. Play that splash damage all day long, brother. Bodies doesn't play any Pip though, Gore. I don't know how I feel about this. What are your thoughts?
You can definitely tell with the way the potion launcher. I mean, he's hit one shot out of the 4 or 5 he's fired. So being able to get aggressive coming around, you can tell that the projectile is not going exactly where he expects.
Come on, bodies! He's getting pooped on right now with his potion launcher. We gotta see some more work from that. It's a legendary class weapon. It hits for 800 a pop. Kaliku gets deleted. Cuss, the only surviving member. No chance he makes it up this hill. No chance. He's ghost walked. He missed his poppy bomb. Blinks behind the tree. But there is opponents hot on his trail. He gets bailed out though by squad number 1.
He's going to be running away. No one on the side of 1 is looking at him. He's going to be able to make it out of there, but that's going to be the death of number 9 as they come through. At least one person left. Actually, might have just slipped past.
And you got to say, this is where they just work, or
yeah.
Why didn't they just chill on that mountaintop? That could have been them in 30 seconds.
Couple of kills. Actually going to get traded.
Kefri loses a little 1v1 there, but his teammates are there to bail him out. There's a longbow on the ground, overpowered. Does he even want it? That's a real feels bad man when you have a class weapon available to you and you leave it. Where's the respect? Overpowered. Are you a true hunter or are you not?
A lot. I feel like that could have gone right. There's a lot on the side of Team 6 there. Cuss actually just made it into the circle that could have gone right in that engagement. But it just felt like such a weird push. You're going downhill into a fight. You don't know how many people are there. There were actually, I think, just those 4.
Oh, yeah.
With Team 1 waiting around. Synergy, I think, the last remaining member. And doesn't look like he's going to be long for the world.
Nice attempt, though, I think, from Synergy. He plays it perfectly. You come out, you get your peak charge, immediate turnaround, another shot. And if you hit all of that, that's going to be a good 1,600 damage or so. But it's a 1v2 against the number 1 team in the lobby. So does that bail you out of the situation entirely? Probably not. Zombie Unicorn finding some good shots here on the Kiva Flash. But her team is falling apart around her. The Noose Titans on young Nadi. She rolls out in epic fashion, epic proportion, but unable to find anything else. In her last act of defiance, she sends her loot off the cliffside, offering up a minor inconvenience for the idiots that want to go get it.
Still had, a white burst rifle coming through, a purple revolver as well that was in her kit. And it's one of those moments that, again, you're looking at the difference of the late game armor versus those early game weapons. White burst rifle did not even tickle them. They just didn't notice it. They shrugged it off like it was nothing.
Little airdrop action in the Dragon Bones. No one seems to be too keen on going after it right out of the gate anyway. Kefri, minor damage from an heirloom rifle. You can start to see at this distance the projectile drop starting to come into play just a little bit. Kefri's more than accounted for it, though. It's not going to affect him too much. He should be able to get this one all wrapped up. He's just looking for any unfortunate peak timings, and he's going to find one. That's exactly what he was looking for there. He gets that info off to his boys, goes for another cute little tag. But what he does is he allows space for his guys to start to push up and try and choke this Team 10 out.
They're going all around the side. Cybate looking to try and press from the right as the team just collapses in on him. That's going to be 1 kill overall, making now 3v4. With Kefri still hitting those long-range shots. You're suppressed. You don't really want to peek out of cover because of the sniper, and that makes it a lot easier for people like Cybate to either jump in or charge out, depending on the scenario.
And it looks like, this is pretty aggressive for them. I would just guess that they want this positioning. That's why Team 1 is fighting so hard against this Team 10. We haven't seen them get this aggressive this early so far this tournament, and now they've got another team to worry about as well.
And that's Slick and Crew.
Low 1 is pretty low. I don't know how much more aggressive they're looking to get here. Shift and the boys, they don't have any kills to their name, which is fine because they're all still alive and they have good loot. But, they're trying to keep up with Kefri, who are, they've already picked up a couple of frags this game. 27 players left in the lobby, so plenty of time to pick up frags where you need them. And looks like 7 kills for Kefri, our number 1 team. Already off to a good start in round number 4.
Being able to get the high ground right here. Again, a bunch of teams that are going to have to look in about a minute to run towards that circle where a lot of the top teams are already finding their positioning. But as long as you can pick up a couple kills right here, again, you're looking for point swings. killing one team right now, 2 teams right now, gives you such a massive jump on that leaderboard that it could change the way the top 5 look.
There it is. Good damage from Team 19. Keva Flash needs to be bailed out. He's down but not out. Minimal HP left as well. Slick picks up a couple of kills as well. Team 1, our leaders, have made it into the circle. Legendary Fireball here for Latvian outplay as well. Doesn't want to get too aggressive into Team 4 there. He may have just played himself. Shift not only picks up the killing blow he was after, but it looks like MTash, his teammate, will pick up Latvian outplay himself. Unfortunate there for the Mage.
And now they're just pushing. I mean, they're looking at this. There's 2 more kills on the board. If they can find it, they can collapse on them, keep vision. That's going to be a big one. Actually, 3 as they regroup up. They were spread out just enough on Team 19 that they were not quite going to be easy picked off. But now, I mean, you have one person taking the engagement, the other 2 are running away.
MTash, good shots there with the crossbow, but a little bit low on the firepower for this stage of the game. As they continue to frag out, though, I imagine the rest of the squad will be getting very nicely outfit firepower. MTash throws down another barricade. K-Wall, he's pinned here, takes down MTash for his troubles. One more shot from Void. That'll do the trick. Bails out MTash, keeps his team, his squad whole, as well as picks up yet another frag.
It's a scary combo having the slug rifle, the sniper, and the concussion bomb. You get a lot of nice kills like that. And
yeah.
Playing it literally perfect right there to make sure that your teammate not only stays alive, but your team picks up another kill. Again, that's something we were mentioning earlier that they were lacking. And since, you know, we see Z1, Jodobo, all those guys no longer in this game, every single point is closing that gap between number 3 and number 2.
At this point, Team 1 so far out in front, no one's going to be really taking their spot after this game. Shift, Slick, Void, and MTash, they're still all together as 4. Overpowered, though, picks up the killing blow. Low One looks like he took down Shift. Cybate gets the killing blow. Void, now he's all alone. He's marooned on an island. They're so split up, too, Gore. I don't know why they did this. But they had Void and Shift come up by the Dragon Bones. It looks like MTash and Slick stayed down by those little houses. And now they're split up completely. And this is the snowball where this is Team 1. They're as 4, Gore. And they just kind of run around and clean up all these teams of 2, teams of 3, maybe some lone wolves here. This is where they get their bread.
6 people that are not team number 1. And it is coming through. It's 2
I like how you phrased that.
That are on Team 4, as well as I think 1 from Team 18 and 3 from Team 10 who are now starting to get taken down. But Cybate actually does get killed by MTash.
Okay.
Kefri returns the kill, Slick goes down. But that's at least 1 player down. Maybe some of these other teams can look to try and capitalize.
This is the reason for the snowball, ladies and gentlemen, here, because when things go well for Kefri, Overpowered, Low One, and Cybate, they run around, loot. They had, what do they have? I think 7 maybe kills going into the late game here.
Yeah.
Now they're continuing to climb up. They have 5, 10, 15, 17, 18 kills now. This is what happens. They run around as 4, and they just clean up squad of 2 here, squad of 3 there, a lone wolf here, and no one can fight back against them. Once they've survived to a certain point, they just become so unstoppable that this is what happens. It's happened in round 1. It's happened in round 2. It's happened in round 3. And as soon as Idol dies here, it will have happened in round number 4. 4 straight Crown Royales for Kefri, Overpowered, Cyb, and Low One. The lead continues to grow here as we head to our last 2 rounds. It looks for like a race for second place.
Consistency is key, and honestly, you know, earlier we were talking about being like the upset. I think that was in game number 2, where it's like you have an opportunity to potentially go in and kill like 1 or 2 members of team number 1. Can you do something about it? Now is the time where I'd be like, all right, I'm just going to drop there. I'm going to send like 3 of the low-placed teams onto them and just try to get them out of the equation, because it's interesting when you do have something like that happen. I doubt we're going to end up seeing anybody try to go for that kind of play. Everyone wants to place a lot higher. But being able to say, well, you know what? We're in 19th right now. Let's just drop with them and see what we can do.
You know, man, I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, Thor, because it happened in the duos event. You know, when granted, there's less places to go to like have as your spot when there's so many more teams in a duo event versus squad event. But we saw so much pressure get put on Kefri and Bird in their unmarked forge down in the bottom section of the map when they were in that duo situation with a 19 bomb, 37 points shaved off of their score. Kefri and co. continue to bombard their way out in front. But look at this. Slick with a -8, an alternates team with a +17. I feel like that swaps our placing here in second, and it does.
-100. And then 75 behind is going to be Slick in them. They've actually been able to pick up a lot.
Wild.
They are falling even further behind for alternate in them. And if they have another game like that last one,
negative
they're going
score.
to continue going down.
Granted, we've seen teams win 3 Crown Royales. This is 4 Crown Royales in a row. 4 consecutive. Kefri and his squad have a chance to go completely undefeated through this tournament. Completely run the table if they can just do what they've been doing for 2 more rounds.
Not only that, but in terms of eliminations, I mean, they have more than twice as much as the next team.
It's wild.
I mean, it's 25 and 25 for second and third, and they're sitting at 52 right now. Like, they are getting a ton of kills. I mean, that's most of where their points are. That's a -104 to counter
how it is.
4 points they've picked up from winning.
That's what these tournaments have become, and I love it, right? It's about the kills. It's placements, whatever, but when placement is the most valuable aspect of the scoring system, that's when you have, 13 guys crouched
against the wall,
behind a
but
chest.
The camera with out the window or the door.
And nobody wants to watch that. Nobody wants to watch that.
Are you saying you don't like looking at the backs of the boxes? A lot
the
of artists put detail into that. Okay.
The occasional chest crouch play
can be fun.
It's made for some of the best moments that we've seen across all of these invitationals, but I don't want that to be the meta.
No.
Not even close. Not even near. Not even the same building as my meta.
I'm actually surprised. It's one of those things, I think specifically with squads, that normally you would expect it to be a lot less action in the beginning. We even mentioned that coming into today, that it's just, at the very beginning, like you said, there's not as many spots. If you're in duos, there's going to be 3 teams every single place you go. If you're in solos, there's going to be 10 other guys looking to try and kill you. In squads, it's never quite that way, but so far, every single time, there's been a lot of early game fights in Lumberfall or down on the Lost Forge where a lot of these teams are looking for that aggression.
Why not? They go to the same place every time. Why not pressure the first place team?
Dude, I'd do it.
Make it a little
Those
bit
bottom
more
5 teams, that's your goal. That's 20 people, 20 on 4. You have to kill them.
Yeah, when you're 15th through 19th place in this event at this stage, you're probably not making it back into the money. Might as well give yourself an objective. You know what I mean? Give yourself something meaningful to do. Play spoiler. Hunt down the first place team. Let's make it interesting. And force, maybe they have a plan B, but we don't know what it is because no one's putting any pressure on them, right? Where is plan B? Kefri and Bird, they had their unmarked forge below Autumn Fields, but then they had their plan B that was off past Cold Mist and Ice Haven, the super, super eastern unmarked town as well. They just like to, keep it quiet. So if there is some pressure on Low 1, Cyb 8, and the gang, where will they head? Where would they go? They've already dropped out of the plane. Could be a really, really long drop to the Goblin Gulch. Can you make it there?
I know Low 1. It looks like Low 1
I normally
and Cyb 8
drop
are
about
going
2
to.
squares away from where I'm trying to land.
Yeah.
That seemed like about a 3
pretty
square
far,
drop.
yeah.
That was a far one.
They might be trying to spread out a little bit more since they know a lot of teams haven't been going up there, especially with the placement of the circle. They can try to play around and say, well, we're going to get both these towns and do whatever we can.
Nobody looks to be hunting them because I have my twitch.tv/mixer.com/Realm Royale map stream up and available, watching and gaining information all the while. It's a beautiful place to be. Some early game fights. And this is actually the unmarked forge, the unmarked town that we were just talking about. So Bird knows his way around this town fairly well. Kills coming through here and just into the grinder. Absolutely decimated. Team 17, not a prayer against Team 13.
That is, if you were ever planning a pincer for a team, that was the easiest way to do it. That was exactly what it was.
That's the diagram in your textbook.
You look it up, that is what you will watch. And it was real clean as way things go. Lasberg going to be taking a lot of damage and ends up getting taken down here. And again, just kind of shifting slightly to the right. We're not even that far. The unmarked town is just to the left. Now we're in Autumn Fields. And you can see Cussin Boys over there in Sentinel Hold. So a lot of teams down here at the bottom southern side of the map.
Cussing crew looking to see what they can do. And Team 12 already lose 2 members. Make that 2.5. Down but not out. Probably soon to be all the way down. And Zombie Unicorn, Herald, Monsoon, Switch, they were in 5th place. They're doing fairly well for themselves, right? If they just keep consistent, they should be able to finish pretty close to the money. 3rd place is where you want to be today's event. I believe we're paying the top 3 teams today. Team number 2 here, looking to get involved here, putting 1, putting 2 down. Zombie Unicorn barely makes it over the cliff. Will she survive the engagement? Anonymous. Beautiful shots there on the Switch. Takes down 1 of the 4. 2 of the others still alive are down but not out. Wildcard falls as well. And that looks like it's going to spell curtains for Team 14, or did
that was 14? Yeah,
I think they all. I think
still
one of them made it out. Let me refer quickly to my twitch.tv/Realm Royale map. Zombie Unicorn is still alive, and it looks like one other teammate as well.
I think Herald was able to stay alive through that, and Monsoon died towards the tail end of it. So there's a lot that's been going on. Actually, right now we're seeing pressure. That is going to be big. There goes Natalie. Unfortunately, fall into a revolver. Just not able to do a lot in that scenario. They got out-pressured real fast.
Can happen. Trinity Hill. I hate Trinity Hills. Trinity Hills, to me, I get flanked from 8 different angles. I get so tilted there. I stay away, man. It's so hard to keep track of where everyone could be coming from. It's a risky place, risky town, but it's a lot of loot. Risk reward. It's not worth the risk, in my opinion. Slift. I did it again. Slift. Schick. And what's our other one? We've butchered their names together. I think 3 or 4 different ways now, until they have just become one entity. But see, it's harder to do in squads, right? How do you combine 4 names? Void?
I'm not even going to try. I was like, immediately you said that, and I was going to start putting them together, and then I was like, Void is in there. Void is a word that you just can't add to anything else.
Team M. Schloid. That's their name. And that's what I'm sticking to.
Okay.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue.
We'll see if you can remember that in like round 5 or round 6, I guess. We're already in round 5. Wow.
It's flying by today, man. No, I'm not going to say what I was just about to say because I don't want to jinx it. Pretty smooth event today. God bless our admin team.
Is the table made of wood? If you need to, you can knock on wood.
I don't know. I'm knocking on a lot of things in the room right now. Soundproof foam, drywall, a table in front of me. This is fake wood floor. Uh-oh.
We don't know if the jinx has been lifted or not.
Round 6 never happened that day. Pretty Hair, the big idiot, jinxed it all. Look at this circle, though. This is very different from what we've had thus far, and a lot of it is hanging off the map as well. So a lot of these teams are going to be forced to rotate hard north.
I kind of want to see this go more towards like Old Manor. I don't think any team has gone over there. So like Shift and them could potentially just rotate over, but it causes a change of scenery as well as a little bit different overall of an environment because of the way Old Manor is made. It's not as fortified as like Sentinel Hold because a lot of those walls are like broken down. You have to kind of play a little bit differently.
Snowed in. Remember when it was like it was snowed in at first and you could only just get inside of like the roofs of Old Manor? Very cool. Very cool evolving map here and a beautiful job done by the art team.
Shout outs to Chuck.
Absolutely. Cool guy, cool art. Cool all around.
Cool.
I'll let you have that catchphrase for free, Chuck. Next one's going to cost you.
I like the idea that he'd be watching this like that's his business card now. It's like it has his name and then it just says cool guy, cool art.
Oh, damn it, that's good. As creative as a guy as Chuck is, I'm sure he could probably think of something. Think of a better one. Team 11 here. They are hot on the heels of Team 3, who looks like they are a full unit. 4 members still alive. But I don't know if they've got any early game kills. That's been what got them to 2nd place. But they're going to need to return to their winning ways. They don't have any kills. Jodobo eats a snipe. But at the end of the day, they're still getting pushed. Decent firepower, I think, across the board. Jodobo's got a legendary revolver. G-Dolphin's got the legendary, it looks like, heirloom rifle. So all things fair in love and war here. As we're about to see, 1, 2 team clashing, maybe 3 or 4. A lot of people trying to get into the circle here.
You can already tell, I want to say a better game here for team number 3 as far as they've been able to go. At least 15 points as opposed to 17 they got last time. But they're playing this a lot slower than they did those first 2 games. First 4 games, honestly. So they're making sure that they're not finding these scenarios where it's just going to be an easy kill for them left and right.
Damn. Feels revolver, man.
Feels revolver, man.
Green slug.
Oh, and they shard it too. Oof.
The humanity.
They have a white burst and a green slug.
You're telling me nobody wanted that on that team? That's hard
Even
to believe.
a little bit?
The revolver's good. If you can get close, the revolver's good. But the slug and the burst, good at all ranges. There is no caveat. There is no asterisk. The weapon is just successful in almost any situation.
Potentially getting
Longbow
aggressive
play.
and cashed.
Longbow
Looking around the
plays.
side. Longbow plays. Could come through.
Give them to me.
This is where I think we're going to see the mobility of the hunter. Honestly, in a building and out of a building, being able to kind of poke in, poke out. That's going to be where you're safest. Slick might be able to show it off a little too.
Oh, God. The fireballs, the axes, the stone spears. Gore. There's so much burst damage here. Norzy picks up Shift and Slick with a Frost Stone Spear. Dear God. The carnage from that weapon in the early game. MTash, they are getting destroyed. They're not even putting up a fight. Void is half HP. He blinks away, but Norzy is hot on his trail with a Frost Stone Spear. Void barely escapes into this room. He's spotted out.
Oh.
The fireball into the throwing axe. Book of Ken squad. Team 9, they've been quiet up until this point, but they just demolished the second place team. Synergy's the only one that even had his armor broken, dude.
And they've got 8 kills now.
What?
To their name. They've been picking up a lot. It seems like Team 9.
They're running away with it.
Sleeping through the first 4 rounds, and now they're like, okay, we
Pop
need to start
off.
getting serious about this. We want to get top 3. And they help themselves out immensely by taking out number 2.
Sheesh. That's a rough finisher. I'm not sure if they had any kills, but it's a at least 14th place finish. Cookie Man takes down Aspect and dismounts the rest of Team 6, as he himself needs to get his butt moving into the circle, but he's got the legendary dodge roll. Super low cooldown mobility. Still think you want to get on your horse, though. Cuss. Yeah,
That is the only time I've seen one of those shacks save somebody. It is so small. It is so overall useless because it's so open on the sides. But that was the perfect angle that shack stopped any shots from hitting Cuss right there. Although I don't think it stopped him from that.
I know what the huts used to be called in PUBG, at least off broadcast.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know if they thought of any good euphemisms for that to actually use on broadcast. As much as I'd love to be able to say it, I'm just not going to go there. I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold that one.
Okay.
Trying to tone down. I think I've only cursed twice overall in about a year.
Hey, it happens, man. It happens. You get passionate, and you want to let them know with all the right adjectives. But for the sake of professionalism, we're gonna try to think.
Hold it back.
We're gonna euphemize. Is that a word?
It can be.
And now it is.
We're gonna euphemize that word. I almost cursed right there.
We'll navigate away from those waters. 35 players left alive here. Was this 2, 4, 6 kills for team number 2 here. Pretty decent early games for a couple of different people in the running. Jodobo and Alternate and the squad need to get back in the action here. They have nothing, and that's just unlike them. They're a team that has been successful, fragging very hard in the early game. Got the firepower to do it. But, you have a couple of bad rounds, and you start to get shook, and your playstyle starts to change. You start to get more passive. You stop doing the things that got you in the position that you were. But arguably, those things also put you in the bad position as well. It's just the name of the game when you play aggressively.
We're going to be up here towards Old Manor as well. Just shifting around with the way things have been going. Actually, no, we're a little bit lower on the map as the way things have been going. The circle has shifted up towards that snowy area, though. The way things have been. 13 teams still alive. Alexi been able to pick up a few kills, but Bird, Koa, Reps have lasted a lot longer this time than in some of the previous games.
Yeah.
And they're looking to be able to pick up quite a few more kills.
Bird hitting some good shots here. Firepower and armor galore. He picks up 2 legendary pieces. I believe that was a purple burst as well. And now they're just holding this corner. You can sit out there as long as you like. FPS Reps No problem dealing with it, but will he be able to get the kill? Just need one tag. That's all you need to get. One tag.
One tag.
That's all you need. All right, Bird got it. Good Bird.
Took a little bit of time. As you can now see Kefri. Again, their team coming into this, they don't have any kills as of just yet. This is usually how they come into 12 teams, and I expect it's going to start picking it up.
Let's pay attention
slowly
to this.
But surely.
29 kills. They had none. Now they had, was that 1 or 2? It's about to be 2. It's about to be their second kill on the board, and they are still as 4. So we'll start the counter now. They had 29 players left, 0 coming in. Now they've got 2. How many of the top 30 do they kill to put themselves in a position to potentially get, you know, it's already record-breaking, but, you know, continue their incredible run of their 5th Crown Royale in a row, potentially.
Being able to find, I mean,
what
they were sitting at 52 kills, so now they're 54.
Kefri and Bird break up, Overpowered and Kefri come together, and now they pick up Cybate and Low One, 2 guys from EU. What a crazy story for a squad to come together from 2 different regions, 2 players from EU, 2 players from NA, to come together and have this type of success. It's crazy.
And just clean connected again.
They
Kefri going to lose a little bit more. He's actually getting a lot of damage dumped onto him. But he's still going to be able to stay alive through all this. 6 is looking to try and clean him up. But so far, no one has had much success. I think overall, they've had like 1 death throughout their 4 games. And if even, maybe 2 at most. But they just do not drop.
North Point giveth, and North Point taketh away. Overpowered puts the first one down of the fight. Team 9 doing their best to fight. And what a beautiful barricade there. It's just too easy at that point for Cybate to put another one down, but not out. Cuss gets taken down by a sniper rifle. The boys from Team 1 are doing their best. Synergy is really going to work here with this Frost throwing axe, but it's going to be the end of the line for him. A beautiful shielding potion and some help from just a 1v3 situation. They definitely got some bumps and bruises. Isn't that a funny skin?
That duck. Ducks are like probably one of my favorite animals. And so
really?
Having that come through, they're just so ridiculous.
I can agree with that.
Because like the noises they make and the way they look, they're just weird little funny creatures.
Entertainment, baby, at the end of the day. That's what we're after. In esports, and our love for ducks and chickens and other assorted poultry options. Sounds like a slogan for a grocery store.
Yeah, right. Assorted poultry options here in the realm.
That's one snipe landing. It's pretty good. The concussion bomb. What is going? Who is on what team? I'm so confused right now. In the fog, Team 2 fighting out against Team 3. But they're taking not only bleed damage from the fog, but they're taking damage from Alternate's crossbow as well. He puts one down. Jotabo finds the other. And that's a good little engagement for team number 3, just to get their appetites wet. They'll dive back into the fog to try and scoop some loot. 3 kills, some armor potions, and other assorted goodies wait them out there. But now they'll be able to come back in. 2, 6, 12 kills for Bird, Koa, and FPS reps. They had a really good start to the game, if you can remember. I believe they were in Trinity Hills. And they've kept that trend going and alive. But, God, no one can catch Kefri, Bird, and Overpowered at this point. 4 teams remaining. So the worst that this team gets is that +4 right now. But they've already got 5 kills, giving them a -10 for a total of -6 on the round. And they've just about got first place locked up.
I love the way this is. You see 4 teams remaining. Number 12, it's Import. I think he's the only one left. There might be a second player for the team sitting under him, but he is the only name I can still see. And he's just chilling, trying to get up to that top. At this point, he's going to get 4th at least. So being able to go forward, it's been pretty big. Although Team 9, I will say, is probably going to take a big leap in the standings with the way things went. Even though they didn't get the highest placement, they got a good chunk of kills throughout this entire game. The question is whether or not we'll see that same amount coming down from team number 1, just holding the barn.
3rd place versus 1st place here. All of these teams in the money. But how do you siege up this barn? Especially with Cybate starting to look for little flank options here and there. G-Dolphins got no line of sights with his sniper. Look at this, though. Team 13 making it an uneven fight. Looks to be a 7v4 here against the 1st place team in the barn. And hey, can't beat him. team up and take them down, brother.
Beat them using someone else. I mean, at this point, as long as you get a little bit of distraction, I mean, Z1, this kind of team can capitalize on the fact that you're not looking at them. You have to pay attention, and that makes it a lot more difficult. If you win this game, honestly, I think that's more of a testament to overpowered Kefri, Low 1, and Psy of 8 than anything, just because there's so much pressure on them to perform and actually survive.
I think this is a wise call to reposition, but the fog is going to just push them back into town. So it's a matter of where do they go from here, and it looks like they're just going to rotate counterclockwise up the circle and around. And look at this, now Team 13 and Team 3, they're fighting each other instead. A beautiful rotation out, keeps Team 1 safe. Now they can rotate in late Gormizer and poach all of it.
Being able to come around, Jotobo did get the 1 kill, but now Overpowered is looking to pick up a couple as they get aggressive, and that went very quickly from 12 players down to virtually none. 6 still alive as they just keep dropping left and right.
And Import, he just says, my body is ready. Take me. And he dies in less than 10 seconds there. He gets concussion bomb up into the air, sniped, and then dealt with very, very quickly. So 0 kills at 29 players left alive. They frag out pretty hard, I would say. So once we get to the standings, we'll get to see what exactly they were able to do and really define their style, right? They're a very late game team. 5th Crown Royale in a row. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, with the way things have been going, 11 kills. So they picked up 2.
11 of the last
at the beginning
20,
of 30.
Well, they are 4, so 11 of the top 25 they killed.
The way things are going, get negative 21 added to their score already. But I want to say number 4, Bonker and crew, negative 22. They're going to take a pretty big step up because of the kills they were able to pick up.
Alternate squad comes in 3rd there. 7 under for the rounds. Shift and Slick, they go +8 that round. So it's really, at this point, it's a battle for 2nd and 3rd place. The last 2 spots in the money. Alternate and his squad jump back up to 2nd. Book of Ken,
that's
out
Team
of
9,
nowhere.
Baby.
They come in 3rd now. They're in the money. Negative 18. Slick squad, 17 under. But look at this, Bonker and the EU Paladins boys, 6 under with Bird and FPS reps. It is really going to be, and even below, 10 points below them, we've got 6. It's going to be a battle for 2nd and 3rd place.
Yeah. This
last round is going to decide a majority of the money and where it's going.
Those top 7 have all shown a lot of capabilities throughout a lot of it. And I think number 7 was Team 14, who have been having like games where they get in the top 5 and then games where they are eliminated very early on. So if they can find a relatively consistent last game here, a couple of kills, they have that potential to go from 7 to 3rd. And just like you said, there's a lot that can change it.
I love my my laser beam Kefri is just shot across this graph here. From number 1 to number 1 to number 1, number 1, and number 1, brother. Can he do it, though? Can they win all 6 rounds? I was just going to say, you know, at this point, they could not even connect to the lobby and still win this tournament.
They could quit now.
But I want to see it, man. Oh, honestly, I want to see him win all 6, man. That would be historic. That would be, you know, no one's. I think we had
negative 100 points.
In terms of how many Crown Royales, I think we've seen 3, maybe 4, 1, but not in a row. Not in a row here. I mean, incredible stuff for them to win so many on the day, but to do it in a row consecutively.
And being able to accrue all the kills they have. Negative 100 points. Yeah. Like, I mean, they are mounting a score that I don't think we have seen before. And it's, again, at that point where normally you'd come into this and you're like, well, maybe you can still get number 1. Like, you can't catch up to them unless you killed, like, everyone in the lobby.
That would be funny.
You have to kill every
So we've got what?
person.
We've got like 70, I think 6 players in the lobby, right? So 72 kills available for you. If you got 72 kills, that's like 140 something odd points. Maybe then you could catch them.
As long as you kill them first, so they don't get another first place.
Well, they always come in with 0 kills, right? They just stroll into Northport late game, and there's no one else there for them to kill. Maybe somebody else killed, 70 people in that lobby. Who knows, guys? Head over to the esports website, though, to follow along, look at the stats, look at the news, all kinds of good info on the website for you, esports.realmroyale.com. Make sure you have your map stream up as well. The map stream was very, very helpful, actually, to me. We've always got it up on our second monitor here in the booth. It's very, very helpful. You follow along with your favorite teams. It's a battle for 2nd and 3rd place 4th place, 5th place, 6th place, all breathing down their necks. A lot of different teams could finish in the money here. The final round of the 6-round squad 10K Invitational here on the Wednesday. Thank you guys for riding along with us. It's been a beautiful, fun day and a very smooth tournament. Big thanks to the admin team for making it so. Admin, is that Lucas? Who's our admin today? I think it's Savage Spice. Savage Spice. Let me get the Rip Savage Spice in the chat. Sometimes it's Rip Rude. Sometimes it's Rip Beefy Noodle, my favorite admin name. Sometimes it's Rip Sleek. But Sweet Mallory today, she has given her life 6 rounds in a row, so that blood may be spilled on the island here. Does our island have a name, like, overall?
That's just part of the realm. I don't know if it has an actual name. We'll have to ask about that.
It needs a name. Chuck, give me a name.
The full name.
For my map. I sound like a caveman.
Name for map, please.
Good. Shoot, bang, kill, aspect, trouble. Ooh. You like that? You
still getting aggressive. We do some caveman casts for the entirety of it. Only if we're in certain areas. Like if you're in the bones, I feel like that makes sense. Like there's a dragon skeleton around you, like you had to go full caveman for that.
Ooh. Magic
dragon
man.
Bad.
Magic man, ghost walk. Stay alive. Cussing the boys. They're in trouble though now. NA Paladins representing here in the early game. One more shot from Splice. Aspect might be able to bail out Cuss. He has to bail out of that one. Kliku's down as well. And it looks like the house hath been cleaned. I think Aspect might still be alive, but it's a bloodbath early on here. Aspect does go down there. Keva Flash takes down Lasbra. A lot of kills in the kill feed so far. About 10 players or so already dying. Kefri and his squad are in a fight there. He takes down TTV Toaster Schrudel. And an early game engagement, not one that we're used to seeing. And actually, taking a look at my map stream here, they are not in Goblin Gulch. Where did they go?
That's a good question. It looks like, are they down there with Jodobo and crew? There's a lot of teams sitting down near the swamp.
We're looking for a fight here in the underpass. Kefri and his squad, they did not go to Goblin Gulch. We'll have to track them down. Overpowered dies. They went to
They're literally in the
Lumberfall
center of the map
to forge their honor amongst some of the toughest brothers out there on the block. This is not the Weenie Hut Jr. This is the Salty Spittoon. I love this fight. We rarely get to see these fights in the underpass here. So cool. Recently redone as well. Bits is going to go down. Zombie Unicorn's down. It's wild cards. Who is that? I believe that is that Monsoon and Herald. I don't know which one's which because their names are too long. Herald is still involved here. Shooting him with the purple shotty, but he's outside of effective range here. He's got to reload. But holy crap, he's playing his mobility so well. Trying to stick a heal as well. Couldn't hurt. His teammates rotating back in. It's just them two. Now surviving. Drop some healing potions. Beautifully played by Monsoon and Herald to be able to stick it out this long. But they got to decide, coming or going? Are we fighting this or are we out?
You can tell we spend a lot of time duos being able to play like this. Again, making those decisions for each other. They know each other's skill relatively well. But it's still a 2v3, and it's still a weird fight to have to take, so you have to play very carefully. If you're going to get aggressive, that's going to be one. Duck already formed. Maybe a couple others if they can get aggressive. That's shots from the side. Again, numbers advantage to the other side.
There it is. Got to land these shots, though. You don't want to peek more than you have to. Monsoon is not in a good spot here. He's pretty far out in the middle of the room.
Oh, right below
he doesn't have a lot of HP to give either. He can hear this, but it's a 3v2 in here. Team 14 is fighting against the odds, against the numbers game to try and come out on top. They need to collapse on one target here, I think, really. You can't be playing the numbers. You can't be spreading out here. Beautiful barricade. They collapse at the same time. They are not hitting shots, though. That is the big thing here. 3 shotgun shots missed in a row. And Herald and Monsoon, they positioned well. They used their cooldowns well, but Gormizer,
you gotta hit those shots.
They did not.
It was just that moment. I mean, that would have been a kill as well. You hit those first 3.
Hit your shot.
Then, even though you have a rotation coming around behind you, you have time to retaliate. Yeah,
you
still have to reload, but you have at least that opportunity. That was just one of those moments that you could kind of feel the choke. You know what's going on. You've seen them hit a lot of incredible shots so far, so you know that one was just pressure to win that fight going down. And unfortunately for them, I think that I don't know where they're going to end up. They were in 7th.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to climb up to 3rd.
That sucks. That sucks. They were climbing. They were hanging in there for sure. So they lost Overpowered, but they picked up 5 kills. Overpowered, low 1. Cybate and Kefri playing way more aggressively this time around because they have nothing to lose. Going for maybe a kill record here. They find 2 more for a total of 7.
They could actually end up changing some of the endings because that's Book of Kin's team, Team 9. If they go down now,
wow.
I mean, they're 3rd place. If they end up getting eliminated by 1st, it doesn't really matter who gets the kills, but going down at number 14 or lower is going to be a lot worse for you, although it looks like they're going to turn their aggression to the remaining member of Team 7, as I think Book of Kin is the only living member there of Team 9, and he's looking to slink out in the back.
I mean, he plays a lot of Leon, but I have been so impressed personally with Cybate's play in Realm Royale. Just in general, with the Warrior, with a class that is probably, 3rd most popular, I would say. Engineer and Assassin have been the most 2 popular, but he has played the Warrior with the heirloom rifle, so he's playing like the 3rd place class with like the 3rd place weapon, and he has just dominated. It has been really, really something to behold.
Now, Team 12 getting collapsed in on by I Hold Shift, Mtash, Slick, and Void as they're looking to run down towards crossing the way things have been going. Still really, really large circles. Still really early in the game with the way things have been going. But a lot of the teams have been eliminated. I think Bonker and Crew, Team 13, are the only ones right now that are still outside of that circle.
Looking for their first couple of kills here. Void has 1 kill, but that's it. Put 1 player down, but not out. They see the forging happening as well, but they don't know that it's Kefri and his squad. That's the biggest thing, is you're not expecting to see that team here at this stage of the game. You're expecting them to be playing around the desert by themselves in Goblin Gulch and Guntown at those forges. You don't really expect to run into them this early on. If you were paying attention, you saw Overpowered die, and so that tells you that somebody either hunted them up in their spot or that they actually came down to the world of the living outside of the desert to play.
And again, looking at that number 9 that's sitting on the edge of the town, that is going to be important because, again, they're number 3 as of right now. They got a couple of kills early on, but placement is going to matter, I think, a lot more to them than anything. The same thing goes here for Slick and Crew. With a lot of teams collapsing around and crossing, you can see it's a little bit of hesitation for anyone to actually come in. And it looks like Team 16 might be swooping up from the south to try and pick up a couple of these kills as well.
Rolling up pretty quickly back to the forge to just pick up the loot that they started earlier. It looks like Team 4, they got distracted by some pretty shiny objects up on the mountain. We'll have to see what they pull from this airdrop. Airdrops recently changed to drop a lot of stuff, not just weapons, it used to just be non-class legendary weapons. So now you could see an ability in there, a weapon, some armor potions, tuned up a little bit, as armor potions are harder to find nowadays.
2 to 4 items as well. So like you could get lucky and like you might find multiple of what you actually need or something to help gear up your squad. So there's a lot of worth going for these chests. But once you're in a competitive lobby, it's pretty dangerous to try and commit to that as well.
Feels longbow, man. Misses a couple longbow shots. Immediate switch to the slug rifle, connects and puts him down. I want the longbow to be good so bad. Longbow was sick. Like the first week the game was out, the longbow was disgusting because it shot actual Mack trucks. The longbow would shoot literal full-grown redwood trees from the California redwood forest.
It was impressive that the archer, the hunter, was able to shoot that log.
400-foot.
You're getting hit around the corner. It also had like that wanted tracking.
You know those
from
trees,
the bullets.
right?
Yeah, they're huge.
It's like, they put a road through one.
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
they're
like, I don't know, 60, 70, 100. I don't know how wide, but they put a road through one of those trees. And the hunter used to be able to shoot them out of the longbow.
Now, unfortunately, they lost their ability to.
Now they just shoot like a healthy
curve the bullet.
Healthy oak.
A healthy oak.
Yeah.
Still hefty, but nowhere near as easy to hit. And again, you have a slug rifle.
No.
One's a little bit easier to connect with.
Feels bad. Again,
The white slug rifle over the bow.
I know. It feels bad. It really does. What he does well, though, Bird, I noticed this very early. He'll shoot his withdraw, or he'll withdraw and then just lead with his arrow and then switch kind of no matter what. Because the self-slow on the longbow, especially in close quarters, it's almost a death sentence, right? It is very risky to use a longbow in like the hyper close quarter situations when you don't have a lot of cover, because slowing yourself down, time to kill is already pretty low in this game, right? You're making yourself an easy target.
Lumberfall, the center of the new circle, and very conveniently, where low 1, side 8 are just chilling as of right now. They're hanging out.
How do they know? Every time.
Team 9, I think that's still Book of Ken. And he's just hanging out and crossing. He's not moving. He is not leaving this area.
You know, Book of Ken was one of the
has to.
early masters of the crouch behind the chest strategy.
Now he doesn't even need the chest.
He's
It's
evolved.
Just crouch.
2 kills, 5 kills total for this squad. Holy crap. That's something. That's worth noting. 10 points will be shaved off whatever their placement score is. Obviously, you want to survive a little bit longer now because there's still 11 teams remaining, so you don't want to get that plus 11 if you can help it.
And there's something to be said about the fact that since he's only one player, it's going to be a little bit harder to notice him. He has a little bit of an advantage because he's not going to have
Look at the arrows, though, from Team 4. They're sniffing around. They're making sure that no one's getting flushed out behind them before. And Ken,
he might get spotted.
He's making his move. Just watch the arrows from Team 4.
This terrain is helping him so much. There it is.
Oh, no. Ken has been spotted. Rip Ken.
It's going to be...
Oh, God. Shift just tags him between the eyes after he poppy bombed himself up in the air. Goodness gracious.
A positive 6. They finish number 11. They get
Come
5
on,
kills.
Shift. He couldn't have let Ken go. God. You hate to see a good Ken bite the dust like that.
Team 3 still alive. Actually made it out. Has only 2 people left. Team 5 is going to be eliminated here.
3,
the firing squad.
6, 10, 15 kills already. I mean, they had a meh round last time, but they are making a case for 3rd place, 2nd place this time around. What a good little finish here. And, kind of a fun note, 2 NA, 2 EU guys as well on this squad.
And being able to come through.
Just the chemistry, man.
I mean, with the way things have been going, they were, again, kind of shaky, I want to say, to start. But similar to what we saw out of Team 9 last game, we've seen Bird and them kind of pick up the pace, picking up the kills, not only being able to get a lot right here, but they're floating in that, 4th, 5th spot. So this is perfect opportunity for them to take that leap.
They've fragged so hard. Team 3 below Team 1. Who are going for their 6th Crown Royale in a row here. Runa dropping off the high ground here with his potion launcher, puts down the barricade, the healing totem. It's getting hectic. Bird picks up 2 more kills as if they didn't have enough. Low 1 playing the roofs nicely as well. The longbow play trying to survive here. Bunker out in the wild in a 1v1 against Cybe 8. One of his former PPL opponents, and will be Cybe 8 coming out on top. Koa falls to the shotgun as well. Bird takes down Alexi. It's Cybe 8, low 1, and Kefri. 3 members remaining. The potion launcher snuffs them all out. Low 1. 2 killing blows there. It's a beautiful crescendo to the team fight for team number 1 as they pull even further out in front.
That's a number 9 finish for them. But they got a lot of kills throughout all of that. So again, looking at the way the leaderboard is going,
that damage.
You're looking for number 2, you're looking for number 3. They were trying their best. That's just unfortunate to run into that team of all teams as Cybe 8 continues picking up kills.
They had 3 people, Gore, and that was chaos, right? Surviving, that's not luck. You don't survive that chaotic of a fight with 3 people. These guys are just incredible. The way that they can take these fights and keep a level head and not take that much damage doing it. Win 1v1s. Beautiful rotations as well. Low 1 has been so consistent. He did this last week too, very nicely. His counter rotations in these team fights with these potion launchers, he just completely frags out. He'll drop a couple people out of their chicken forms. He'll put a couple of new people into their chicken form. It is really impressive what each member of this squad brings individually to the overall success of the unit.
And again, you can see the way they're working. I described a pack of wolves earlier, and I think I did it for Team 4, but they're doing the same thing. They're isolating one person, and then they just kill them off. And then they go, and they just separate the team by sometimes luck, I want to say, but sometimes by shooting the right target and making them kind of bob and weave in a different direction. You want to find cover, but cover's to the left. Your team's running to the right. You're left by yourself. Kefri comes in, kills you pretty much on his own because you're sitting at half health. You don't have any life.
That has to be no scope. That had to be from that range. I don't know. We'll have to check his chat. Kefri, so much burst damage though from the fireball. The stone spear. He almost goes down, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Cybate makes the rotation, saves Kefri's life, and keeps the 6th Crown Royale dream alive.
Sitting around, pretty separated overall with the way things are going, but Lumberfall is still going to be the job. That's 6, 7,
21,
13.
28.
28?
Wait, am I out of my mind?
Well, there's also the fourth person's not listed.
Okay,
we don't have overpowered
Something
skills.
happened to I don't think overpowered
He
had
probably
any
just
kills.
left.
He had some, didn't he? Oh, you're right. He probably did leave. That's probably what it is. Because he was there earlier.
Yeah.
But he probably just left.
Left the lobby.
Damn.
There's a lot of kills.
What a kill count there.
19 as of right now, just on those 3. Let alone whatever overpowered might get, or what they might get throughout the rest of the game. Is alternate unknown looking to be picked up here by the other Wolfpack.
Yeah, man. How do they get through this team of 4, though? That's what they haven't had to do today. They haven't had to fight a game of numbers against a really, really strong team today, I don't believe. Low one almost goes down there. Kefri finds the killing blow. It's so funny. They're not playing that the way that they normally do. They're playing 10 times as aggressive, but it's still working for them. They are still fragging out. I don't think they've ever... Oh, my God. What a snipe there from Kefri, but at this point, it's just par for the course, it feels like. Goes for another one. Won't quite find it. No armor potions, though, Gore. We talked about this earlier. They're taking so many fights. They're just running out of resources at this point.
Again, you kind of hope that either you find them on the way or whoever you kill happens to have them. And unfortunately for Kefri, it seems like he hasn't been able to find any on any of those bodies that he's been able to drop so far. They're still getting aggressive. They're still fighting again. They're pretty comfortable up there in first place. It's determining whether or not they can stop second or third from changing.
Poor Greg. 2 games in a row, he's had to be the Lone Ranger. Chappie and his squad here, Cybate is in a bit of a situation, but he's hitting good shots, keeping good pressure applied, and at the end of the day, Gore, it's a 2v3, one that Kefri and the boys, again, will come out on top of. Low one finds the killing blow on the Chappie, but they're out of armor potions. And MTashed, not quite getting aggressive yet, but he is fully aware of their positioning. I don't know if MTashed and the gang lose this one, man. They are so healthy and have so many armor potions. And a 3v4, you got to remember that this is a numbers game. How do they not come out on top of this one?
Looking at no armor for anyone except for the one member there, Cybate, I think has armor, and everyone else on Team 1 has none. Team 3, alternate still alive, but looking to get chased down. And once that comes through, you're in the full
But he's doing so much damage to them.
4v3.
Look at this. He did so much damage. He almost killed Cybate. He almost killed Kefri, unless Kefri's dying on the backside. He is dying on the backside. Gore, I think this is
4v2.
it. I think this is the end of the run, dude.
We got 5 in a row.
I don't think they got this. The 6 in a row dream is coming to an end, but not before 20+ broken bodies laid at their feet. Cyb 8, low 1, Kefri overpowered. What they have managed to accomplish today may just go down in Realm Royale history. Absolutely incredible run, dominant to the point that we have just never seen.
And being able to pick up a lot, especially with that Crown Royale there at the end. I think second and third are probably going to be shifting around, but no one was close to touching first. I'm just curious to see if where they went, I'm assuming they're still sub -100. That's -44. Jeez.
23 eliminations.
Someone else was supposed to kill everybody in the lobby, not them.
After losing, I know they were funny. They were, we were playing around with the hypothetical of someone getting 70 kills. Kefri and squad dropped 23 after losing overpowered early. After losing someone incredibly early, they finish with 86 eliminations, 165 under par.
130.
Second place is 132 points behind them. Second and third separated by 1 point. Incredible. Despite the finish, despite the win in that game, Shift and Slick and those boys are just 1 kill away from second place.
And that, I mean, Bonker and Bird were killing people systematically that entire game. Like, I think I just heard 18 eliminations throughout all of that. So that made the difference, every single one of those kills.
Bonker squad, I believe I heard they finished 9th that game. So they still got the kills. They still had so many eliminations that game that it just didn't matter. And the difference there was alternate, right? He was the one swing kill that could have made a difference. But Cybate was able to lock him up just in time, just before Shift and Slick got there. And so we are going to have Kefri shooting the laser beam across the top of the leaderboard. They just dominated the entire tournament. Won 5 of the 6 rounds. Ups and downs for the rest of the teams, though. Overall, I got to say, very exciting today.
Yeah.
Incredible kill counts, scores that we just haven't seen, may never see again.
I don't foresee another negative 100 unless I guess they get to squad up and they get to come back again and try to repeat it. But at that point, I'm looking at some of these teams to start dropping over there and like the Gulch into Guntown. Like,
yeah, maybe
stop them from looting for free for a little while and try to get them killed. Maybe
just
a little bit
slow them down, for crying out loud. Somebody stop this squad. They have been incredible, guys. That does it for the gameplay. But before you go, remember, HRX is coming up fast, just a couple of months away. And these tickets historically are sold out in the past years, right? So if you want to go, you got to hop on them now. HRX.com, HiresExpo.com to grab your tickets. Grab your after party tickets as well, because that is a blast. It is the absolute cherry on top to what is sure to be a great event.
And those go by even faster because there's going to be less of them. So you need to get those as soon as you possibly can, or else they are gone.
Do you wonder if anyone just goes to the after party? They just buy an after party ticket and don't attend HRX?
They're like,
you've got the party
let's
animal.
Just go party.
He doesn't know anything about esports, but he just wants to party.
Wants to
and he
there.
just goes to the HRX after party. I don't know. That would be hilarious to me. If you do that, I want to know who you are. Guys, it's been a lot of fun as well. Make sure you're following along all the news, updates, stats, all that good stuff on esports.realmroyale.com. And I believe that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's been Pretty Hair. That's Gora Miser. We appreciate you being here watching and enjoying the 10K Squad Invitational. But that does it for us for this week. We'll see you all next time.